closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello everyone and welcome to Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California, the first and only webcast of real action cash game poker. My name is Bart Hansen and I am joined today by the poker babe, Shirley Rosario. And tonight, Shirley, we are webcasting our 3 to 500 restricted buy-in, no limit game, 5-5 blinds. The yellow chips on the table are $5 chips. And normally the stacks are going to be stacked in $100 denominations. Let's go around and introduce the table.
Okay. In seat number 1, we have Dan. Ryan is in seat number 2. We have Matt in seat number 3. In seat 4, we have Raphael.
Been raised to 15.
In seat number 5, we have Garland.
Oh, my bad. I thought it was this one.
Ken is in seat 6. Eric in seat 7. Hussein in seat 8. And Jack, that's not Jack.
That is actually Nicole Pepe
right.
in seat number 9, who helped us do the commentary for the last half last night. Of course, this is our middle-of-the-road restricted buy. Well, actually, it's the biggest restricted buy-in no-limit game that we have here.
Right.
You know, the chip stacks get pretty deep. We can see pots of well over a few thousands of dollars in this pot. It's actually my favorite game here at the casino because the blind structure, the amount of chips that you can buy in related to the big blind structure is 100 times. You can buy in for $500.
Right. Yeah, I like this game too.
Yeah. And seat number 5, on a programming note, all you 2+2ers out there.
Special treat for you.
Seat number 5 is Garland, and he is a 2+2er here from San Francisco. He watches the show all the time. Of course, you can follow along to the thread that is started on 2plus2.com, spelled out. Click on the forums key. Click on Tournament Poker, World Poker Tour, and other televised tournaments. And we're right there. You can also email us at live@thebike.com.
Would you like the floor minute, No, let's call the floor minute, please.
And looks like we're having some sort of situation
floorman decision right
already.
now.
Objection. Do you want to object to that, sir?
But we also want to welcome all the new viewers that are catching us for the first time this week when they heard about the show at the Lifestyles convention at the Rio during the main event last week. So welcome, everyone. Thanks for taking the time to stop by our booth. We had a great time. Shirley, we got some great interviews. Again, people that missed the show last night, we interviewed the likes of Doyle Brunson, Jack Binion, TJ Cloutier, Daniel Negreanu, Greg Raymer, and so on and so on.
Phil Lack, Jennifer Tilly.
Yep.
And David Skolansky.
And David Skolansky, yeah, absolutely. So this is a cash game, unlike tournament television shows you see. You can go into your pocket at any time. From this angle, we're going to have people's names and seat numbers up there. From the angle of the heads-on to the dealer.
He said $10 and he actually made it.
Well, we have seat 1 there in the green hat.
Yeah, when we talk about the seat numbers from our main view, goes around in a clockwise manner, ending in Nicole there in seat 9. So seat 1 is to the left of Brian from this angle.
Right.
There we go. Clockwise from that angle. So we're going to start off here. Jack 10 Jack on the flop. Looks like Raphael in seat 4 flopped 3 jacks, and Eric has got a nut flush draw in seat 7.
25.
And Raphael, boy, they've been watching the show, Shirley. He's going to lead out with his trips. Something that you don't necessarily always see, but I like the play.
I like the play, but most of the time you don't see that.
Yeah. And Eric, with the nut flush draw, is going to check call out of the small blind.
2 players.
How'd you like that? That $5 chip flew over there and he put it right in a stack.
And now he's taking it back.
Give it up. Yeah.
Ryan's taking it back. So now Eric, he's got top pair here and the nut flush draw. And he's going to lead. Maybe he doesn't believe the fact that Raphael bet out on his jack.
50.
So he leads right out here. Now, obviously, Raphael has a jack. He does not have a great kicker here. So the guy has check called the flop, and now he's going to lead to me on the turn. What am I thinking here? Could my kicker possibly not be good?
Looks like he thinks his kicker's good. Looks like he's going to put in a $100 raise there. Nope, a $50 raise.
50 more.
So he's done a mini raise here. The pot's approaching about $300 right now, and it's 50 more for Eric to call. Obviously, he has odds to call with his nut flush draw and top pair.
If he thought the flush draw was good.
And the river's a 7. He doesn't get there. Now the question is, can Raphael put... No, it gets checked down. Wow.
Somebody did pull pocket 7.
Yeah. Pocket 7's on the flop. The 7 didn't come, and they released it. So Raphael didn't bet the river there. He raised the turn. He thought that, his hand was good on the turn, but kind of shut down there on the river. Maybe he thought there was a possibility that he would get out-kicked, or if the guy was on a flush draw, he's not going to call me anyways if I bet here on the river. So. But, of course, we have the luxury of seeing the fact that he probably could have extracted some money out there.
Yeah.
Especially
Some
when
kind
there's
of
a
bet.
pair on the board there.
I know.
With a pair of aces, maybe thinking that, Eric could have called thinking, well, it's at least a chop with my ace and the pair on the board.
5 players.
So we got a little family pot here, 5-way action, $25 pot.
I am very Check it.
Queen 9-3.
Check around, players.
How'd you pronounce that name there in C-Date, Shirley? He's got top pair. Hossein? Hassan?
Well, it's Hossein.
Hossein. Hossein, okay. So he
2 of
actually,
you.
it looked like he checked the flop and then he let out on the turn here. The river's an ace. And it's going to get checked down, and Hossein is going to take it down the pot. About a $75 pot there.
Thank you, Austin.
I just call him HS out on the floor. Much easier.
No, we were, Shirley, before the show, we were anxiously watching the results as they flew into some of the online sites that are giving
Keeping updates.
minutely updates of the World Series. And we've noticed that Greg Raymer got knocked out a couple minutes ago.
In 25th place.
Yep.
This is my lucky outfit.
I just came from here.
And apparently it was a bit of a bad beat. The guy had a flush draw on the turn, and he had an overpair. All the money went in on the turn, and
the guy hit his flush.
Flush got there on the river.
That hand actually didn't knock him out of the tournament, but it left him to where
Yeah,
he only
it
had like
crippled him.
crippled
Crippled him very badly.
400,000 or so.
I think he was at least 2.5 million probably before that hand or something like
If he
that.
would have won that hand, he would have been at about 4 million, 4.5 million.
And obviously he plays with a style that is very conducive to having a lot of chips and pushing people around. So once he got down to 400,000, I didn't really like his chances of really coming back. No one ever really saw him play from the short stack this year or last year. He always pretty much had a commanding lead over whatever table
there
he
was
was
a
at.
time in this tournament where he got down to one of the shorter stacks, to like 800,000 and stuff like that.
Option player.
This pot looks like it's going to be limped around 4 ways. It's a $20 pot. Ace, deuce, 5, 2 spades on the board. Nicole's flop top pair here. I'd imagine she's going to bet here from the button. She's going to throw in $20. And she's going to take it down. So look at Nicole playing an ace-3 offsuit there from the button.
And if you noticed that Garland in seat 5 folded ace-10 in early position, yeah.
Pre-flop.
Yes,
Pre-flop.
pre-flop.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
How much was the pot?
So he, like Matt in seat 3, is a math teacher, math professor. Garland is.
Interesting. Of course, Matt, we know him from the show. He teaches at Loyola here in LA. So probably pretty technical players, but you can make that up with aggression. Styles. Wow, look at this. Ryan in seat 2. He was in the blind. He's flopped the full house. Ace, ace, 5. See how he plays it.
Yes, sir. He bet 5 and he called.
You could always catch
So he's checked it. Matt's bet $5,
3 players.
and he's going to smooth call as Garland calls with pocket 6s. A 9 comes on the turn. Now let's see how ace 5 plays. Looks like did you check again here, Shirley? Yep, he
Looks
checked
like he did.
again.
Matt's already done.
And Garland's bet 15. He thinks his 6s is good. And look at this. He's going to throw another crying call in there, Ryan in seat 2. And Garland had outs there if he could have hit a 6 on the river.
No. Sorry, Bart, that doesn't work. Ace is
You're
full,
right.
beat
You're
6
right.
is
You're
full.
right. He didn't. He was drawing totally dead. Thank you for pointing that out. And now he's put in a bet. So now Garland's thinking, well, something's fishy. The guy check called the flop. He check called the turn. And now he's betting into me about $50 here on the river.
What is your
And he's betting about the size of the pot. And Garland makes the right lay down,
Right.
and he lays it down.
I had faith in him. We have the chip counts for the 6 o'clock hour. In seat number 1, we have $320. That's for Dan. Brian had a measly $75 before he took down that pot. Matt in seat 3 had $920. Seat 4, Raphael had $1,000. Garland has $600. Seat 6, Ken has $450. Seat 7, Eric has $525.
15.
HS has $1,000. And seat 9, Nicole has $400.
Seat number 6 there, he's going to bring it in for $15 with King Queen.
10 to comment.
And Matt's going to come in there. He's got an ace-jack suited out of the small blind.
That's for you, Matt. 10 to comment.
So we're heads up. 5-9 King Rainbow.
Check around, players.
Look at this. It goes check, check. And is Ken trying to trap Matt right here? Queen comes on the turn.
This on this hand.
So Ken did not bet the king on the flop. Now he's picked up 2 pairs, and now he's going to move forward here on the turn.
Really does that. Who really does that? But I mean, come on.
It's a little bit
And
of
no matter
tricky
how
play
he
there.
played that, yeah, he wasn't
Yep.
getting any money from Matt.
Yep.
Before we started the show, I was checking up on Matt, and Matt had lost a horrible beat. Yeah, I mean, had a horrible beat. He lost about $1,500 in the pot to a one-outer.
Ugh.
He flopped jacks full of 6s, and the guy had 6-7 and caught the quads on the river.
Wow.
But built his stack up nicely because he had to rebuy back up for $500. Built it back up to $900 so far.
Now in this game, unlike some of the other games where we have to go under a certain amount, you can just bring your stack back up to 500 at any time.
300 to 500
Yeah.
anytime.
Yeah.
Actually, I think you have to be under 300 to add money to your stack.
Well, this is a
This is-
relatively
I'm-
new game. So.
Right, it is. And I'm saying I think
Okay.
because
'Cause
I've only
seen
played
them
it
do
a couple
I've
times.
seen them do it a couple of ways. Look at this. Ryan's flopped a set of queens here in seat 2. But Eric, he's got ace-9 of hearts, so he's got the nut flush draw, and he's going to bet $30. Let's see how this set of queens plays here. Is he going to raise or call? Well, he's just going to smooth call here, trying to play a trap. Doesn't look like anyone else here can call. So we're heads up, ace-9 of hearts against pocket queens. There's the heart, Shirley. He's made the flush, ace-9 of hearts. He's come over the top, and he's going to check, and now the set of queens bet. So you'd think they're probably going to see a check raise here.
Yeah, I would imagine.
He's bet $30 with top set.
All right.
And remember, Ryan doesn't have many chips, so he's going to end up having a call here.
I think he said check. He's going to put them all in. Check raise all in.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, it's up to Ryan to put himself in,
Yep.
but he is going
Yeah.
to call the all-in bet.
And obviously Ryan's going to call here, and Ryan's going to need to catch a pair here. He's going to need the board to pair, catch his queen, and it doesn't come. A 7 comes on the river, and Eric's going to take it down there. Now, regardless of the fact if Ryan had raised there or not, the hand most likely would have played out the same way.
I agree, because Ryan didn't have any chips.
Yeah. Which, of course, is part of the problem and one of the difficulties of restricted buy-in games at the low levels, and why you have to play it with a different strategy than an unrestricted buy-in game. Because you don't, if you're short chipped, you can't really move your chips around. Yeah.
Well, like you said, I mean, he had the option to rebuy, and he obviously didn't want to rebuy, but it's something that I always suggest, players do if they ask
Yeah.
me, that you always want to make sure that you have the most chips that you can, or almost all the time want to make sure that you have the most chips you can on the table.
I mean, especially if you're playing it with a table of good players, why would you want to put yourself at a disadvantage? Why wouldn't you try to use every advantage that the game offers you
Right.
within the rules?
Yeah.
And
Sir,
by playing short chipped, you're definitely
players.
up against a wall.
Go ahead.
Looks like this pot was limped around.
Where are you from?
7-10 queen, 2 clubs on the flop.
How do you like the bicycle casino?
Dan's going to bet here in seat 1 with second pair, $15.
I like the meal.
Yeah, I know. I like that.
And he's going to take it down. Well, Dan, we're familiar with Dan, Matt, Nicole.
Yes, we are a wonderful little casino.
Ken.
Yeah,
Ken in seat
got a
6.
few solid players here. Usually you know where they're at when they bet. I've seen Matt mix it up sometimes, but
Yes.
normally he's the type of guy that's going to bet on top pair.
And
And,
make big
Prep didn't play there.
laydowns.
Yeah.
She was playing here.
Inexcusable a lot of times.
That's
I
right.
was playing with her.
We need to hire him to be our advertiser.
Yeah. She was playing the No Limit.
I've seen her here before too.
Raphael there's
I said,
seat 4. He's limped in. King Jack
She
suit.
has her own home game now. She's busy.
And the blind's complete, so we've got 3-way
She
action.
said yes, but I am.
6-2-6, Raphael bets in position and takes it down.
she's a B-I-T-A-C-H. And the shows, don't watch the show.
Oh,
I
really?
asked her her first name.
Thank you very much.
She goes Laura.
Yeah, Laura.
Chips.
What's your last initial B? Oh, okay.
What's your last name?
That was fun.
Chips.
She was having a good time.
As we listen into Garland a little bit there.
I do.
I'm up.
Mr. Bryan.
Well, usually when we have 2+2ers that come to the table, normally they're going to be a stronger type of player because surely if you take the time to read up and study about poker on an online forum and comment, normally you're at a pretty good level with the game.
You're taking the game serious
Yeah.
and you're doing the work behind sitting at the table.
Right.
And from what I got from him, because I sat and talked to him for a while, he seemed like a really intelligent guy. I mean, like I said, he's a math teacher. He's a math player. He used to be a computer programmer, and right now is going to school to learn JavaScript. So we were talking about my website.
15.
Ken there in seat 6, he's going to bring it in with a suited connector from the cutoff. He's got deuce 3 of diamonds. And Dan has woken up in seat 1 in the big blind with pocket kings, and we know Dan, he's going to re-raise.
50.
Jeez.
I think he made it 50 more to go.
50 more.
And deuce 3 quickly
That's
released.
50?
So it's up to Nicole here. She's got pocket 7s now. The question is, do you have enough money to call here if you were to hit your set? If she's got 400 behind and the pot's already 100 and she needs to call 50, maybe she can. And she is going to call.
Yeah.
She is going to call.
Too close.
Now, if it gets all an underboard flop, she's got to be smart enough to get away from it.
And
Ace,
that's
deuce,
going to
four.
be an easy one for her to get away
Check.
from. See, it was all about the implied odds there.
Look
She
at
was-
this. Nicole checked and Dan checked behind her. Dan checked with the kings behind her. Now Nicole's checked twice, and now Dan's going to bet.
70.
He's going to put $70 in there.
$50.
And at this point, I think Nicole probably gave up when she checked twice. Some people would try to throw a bet in there in the turn, but by checking, I can't imagine that
Do you
that
think
she was going to call
she
or
was done,
make a
right?
move. Yeah.
Queens.
Something bigger than me.
Thank you, Tom. Would you like the big one, Tom?
Kitty Garrett's fine. That Kitty Garrett's fine.
You know, I was looking before the show also at the new
Sitting there.
area where this table is going to move to when they knock down that wall that's behind Brian in 2 weeks for Legends. Our booth is actually moving to a different place, and this table is moving into a different place. Kind of a cozy area, kind of enclosed, special area. So look out for that in a couple weeks.
That's okay. That's okay.
Spot has been limped around.
Yeah, be careful. We're watching you.
Jack 3 king 2 diamonds. Ken there, seat 6. He's going to bet up on top pair with king 5. $20.
20.
I said I didn't call it, I bet it.
And Dan, he's gonna check call here with an open-ended straight draw. 3 comes on the turn. Wow, and it goes check there, Shirley. Ken gave a little bit of a dangerous free card, and now he's gonna bet the river.
Very good
And
You got scared, huh?
No, it's either we're
I
chopping,
have a king.
we're either chopping
tell
or
if
he's
it-
raising me and I'm mucking
if it got
and
checked
splitting.
down there, but I couldn't imagine that Dan would have called a bet there on the river with queen 10. So
No.
might have got checked down. So we got a new player in seat 2.
All right,
Tony?
that's all you
That's
do.
what yeah, I think so.
Tony.
Raise,
All in.
get Tony and Matt to muck.
It's like stepping on flies or something.
Stepping on flies. What's wrong with that?
And that one's going to get, looked like it was, got chopped around there. Yep, it did.
No friends in poker.
A chick raised my my grandmother.
Your grandmother know how to play poker?
No, but I check raise her anyway.
My grandma does.
And then she has a heart attack, and I feel guilty. And I just skip the pot. You know? You're giving yourself crap right up now.
So we'll go to 2+2 here. Read a post here from one of the common posters, Russ McGinley. Congratulates you, Shirley, on winning 1% of John Juanda. If people missed it last night, you were explaining how you won a tournament, or you came second place on a full tilt tournament, where the prize was winning 1% of John Juanda in the main event.
Plus I did win cash for it, too.
Okay.
I won $7,000 for my second place, plus 1%. So I got $2,800 for my 1% of John Juanda.
And you
Thank
said
you,
that
Kevin. Kevin.
Ocean's 11 if you
Uh,
want to make the drive.
Russ McGinley actually wrote that up there.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, but that's okay.
I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't read it. I was...
And you said that actually the first place winner of that tournament got 10% of John
Yeah.
Juanda. Wow.
Pachanga and Temecula.
And the fact that they were also giving percentages of Phil Ivey, and he's in a pretty good position right now, too.
Oh, I'm rooting so much for him.
It's not a tournament.
It's not a tournament.
This plot has been limped around, and Garland there in seat 6 has caught a set of deuces, and he bets him right out. But look at Raphael
Raphael,
to his
yeah.
left. He's checked, probably the intention of check raising. He's got up and down 2 pairs.
Final table.
Garland's going to bet 20. Tony's going to come in with the flush draw, and you would think that Raphael here in seat 4 is going to raise it up, and he is going to raise it up with ace deuce. And now if you're Garland, you're looking at bottom set here. The pot was at $25 pre-flop, $65 with a bet and a call, and now another call. So now the pot is $185 total, and it's $100 to
I
call
didn't say it that time.
for Garland. He's got bottom set.
Instead, I just came back with vengeance.
So he's thinking, what could this guy possibly have been check raising me with? He's in the blind. He could have anything, Shirley. He could have 2 pairs. He could have 4 or 5.
I re-raised all in and she mucked my aces.
Why did you muck races?
And look at this. Garland says he's all in. He's going to move all in. And I'm sure that's going to get Tony out.
I told you, we talked a long time before, and he said he's not a fan of slow playing.
Yep.
So he comes from your school of thought.
Yep.
Got all in.
We also talked about set over sets, and I would imagine that was probably crossing his mind that maybe his opponent had a set. But
I think it was probably more likely a chance, if you think of it, when you're in what he might have in the blind as a random hand is 2 pairs.
right.
So I like this move by Garland. I mean, you can't be play it safe all the time. you
No,
know?
no.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing right now that's beating him is the 4-5 or the pocket aces, pocket threes.
Now, Tony's doing the math out in his head here because he's trying to figure out if his flush is good, does he have odds to call? Garland's gone all in for at least another 500 over the top. So it's probably about a $680 pot, 500 for Tony to call here, and I don't think he quite has the odds to take it off, and he mucks. And now it's back to Raphael. Just trying to see how much Garland had in front of him.
Oh, these guys are fun.
Yeah, it is probably another 500. And look at this. Raphael shows him the ace-deuce, and he lays it down. Let's see if Garland shows.
He's got ace with
He
a
won't
bigger
show.
Nope.
He's not going to show you.
Nope, he won't show.
We're not going to have him call.
Look at that camera angle. That was kind of neat. And what a great hand that was.
Maybe
Just
he had
there.
ace three.
Maybe he had a set of
We obviously were playing with some players that know what's going on now in the No Limit 200 game. I don't know if you see someone like that, lay an ace deuce down like that. But
I think sometimes even in the 500 you wouldn't see that lay
Yeah.
down. They're maniacs.
He had you beat, and then you were ahead.
I was ahead, I told you.
I'm big blind, so you're first. Small blind. I was almost going to muck this, and then I realized I'm big blind.
So what are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that if somebody raises, I'll re-raise.
Just call somebody to.
Matt almost raised and then he just called.
Matt's going to limp in here. Tony limped in with the suited ace. Matt's in with king jack.
You can't win with mediocre hands. You got to raise it up.
Queen, deuce, 8, 2 spades. Ken there's check top pair.
20.
And he's going to check raise. And Matt just bet out here in position, and he's going to quickly muck in C3 with king jack.
You can just have to watch it. You'll see.
And he shows the queen 9.
This way.
What'd you have?
You
Queen
have 4
what?
outs, okay? all I have to say about that.
I figured that's my mug.
You know you had 4 outs.
You know, I see another post up here, and surely it was funny when I was meeting all these new people
I'm not gonna let Diamond.
in Las
I'm
Vegas.
not gonna.
Straight in there.
This is from Gente.
Well, he said he didn't have the straight, so he couldn't have been the straight.
God, Gene.
Don't look.
HENTAIGAIJIN on 2+2. And he says that he likes having this show on in the background while he plays online. That's what I was telling people to do. You know, turn the stream on while you play online, listen to the commentary. If you get a great hand like we did a couple hands ago, flip it over, watch the play, watch the order of play.
So,
He had ace 3, right?
so he can still have the other 2s in his hand.
I thought. Okay, I knew you had 2.
Got a king queen 3 flop.
You had 2 outs there.
And that checked in position.
Yep, Matt
I
check
guess he
decided
wanted
to take a
the
free card.
Yeah.
And now Ken's going to bet out. He's got a pair here. And Eric actually has a better kicker with his 8, and Matt's going to still come in with his draw. The river's a deuce, and it looks like Eric in seat 7 has the best hand. And it gets checked down on the river, and Eric's going to take it down in seat 7.
Can't tell.
It's not. The whole world knows.
Can you tell
No,
somebody
he
else that?
doesn't. They don't tell him. We can get
Yeah,
tells
he
off of
can,
him.
he can hear everything they're saying in
Oh, yeah?
I said deuces.
Okay, baby, me and you.
See? Deuces.
Oh, they are not
And Nicole was talking about what Garland might have had that hand, and they were saying it's deuces. And I don't think he's quite given it up yet,
It's the only
but
thing you could have had 3 outs for. You only had the aces.
we know that's what he had. It was a nice hand to watch.
That's right. 4 outs. The other card. The other card that wasn't paired. And the 4 in the pair. And raised to 25.
Well, Matt has come in with 10-4 offsuit, and this is his favorite hand. This is why he's called a $25 raise by Tony with ace-queen. We actually have 5 people in the pot. Again, this is a novelty hand for Matt. He doesn't normally play these types of hands, but that's why he's playing 10-4. And it gets checked around, and Ken on the button, he's going to bet with a club draw. And Garland mucks pocket 8s, and the semi-bluff by Ken
Pair and I still win.
takes it down on the button. Now, Shirley, you missed that hand because you had to step out for a second, but I was saying that Matt called a $25 raise by Tony with 10-4 offsuit, and I was going into a little bit of the history
Oh,
of
the
that
background
hand.
of
Yeah.
that being Matt's favorite
Right.
hand.
So that's why we saw him play that hand. I'm not a big proponent of playing novelty hands.
Just because you
Yeah,
think
just
you're lucky
because.
on it, yeah.
And I've seen Doyle Brunson lay down 10 deuce before when he knows it's no good.
I know.
You know. So
Well, the one thing that Matt normally does is 10-4. I mean, he won't call big raises with it, but he'll make big raises with it, and that's a heck of a lot different, you know, than calling with 10-4. I wouldn't call some $25.
Well, you know, the funny thing is that now that you mention it, was a little bit confusing. Tony might have limped in with ace queen there, and Matt might have raised it to 25. I
Okay.
couldn't now that you say that, because I thought that was a little bit strange that he called there.
I would
10-4.
imagine he probably raised.
What was it?
But
I had a
anyways,
10.
Yeah, pocket 9s with an ace kick.
Sorry I had to abandon you.
it's okay.
I had a 10. I had 1 over.
I paid the drop before. So you want the big one?
I should have raised with my 4 deuce.
I had 10-4. I do dominated.
Deuce, deuce, 10.
You had 3 cards? Weird. I had your hand last time. 10-4 suited.
That's not saying he had it three hands ago.
It's 25.
I had 10-8. I thought I turned the 8 when I bet, and he got
The
ace
$25 raise here from Eric in the cutoff with ace-3 of diamonds, and he's going to take it down.
The one particular time.
Raphael actually had ace-7 of clubs in seat 4, and he laid it down.
Ace 4 of clubs.
I'm ready.
You are?
Yeah, like I said, I had no pair and I still won.
Yeah. I hear you.
Because I know you have all the power to bring me the cards that I want.
It's true. I wanted C2 out of here. He's gone. Raise it. 25.
Predictable.
Ken's going to come in here for a raise, 25 with ace-jack offsuit. And Nicole on the button is going to play. She's got a king-jack suited.
3 players.
And this time Raphael calls with the suited ragged ace. He's got ace-7. 10-8-3, 2 spades. No one really caught any piece of this.
Check around.
And it gets checked around here. The turn is a deuce.
There's my card. Now I got it.
Ken still has the best hand here with ace-jack, and he's going to bet, and he's going to take it down.
Blinds, please.
Looked like the river was a 10 of hearts, too. Brian normally puts that up there.
Of course, that's another
Big blind, Matt.
interesting feature of Live at the Bike, that we do have a rabbit cam. You can see what would have come on the river.
I just could not make myself put in money with 9 deuce.
And then deuce in your own.
First card good, second card not so good.
$7.
What's that? And blackjack.
You know that hope you get when you get the first card and you hope that second one, like,
Dan looks like he's going to raise it up here a little bit.
The second one was good.
The same hands in this game as you get in
Looks like he made it
Exactly.
15 to go there with ace-9 of hearts on the button.
4 players.
Hit or bust.
Jack 5-9, 3
Yeah, we have a seat open for you.
flush. They're all
We have
clubs.
prop. We have 2 props. We're waiting for you. We're waiting for you. Just live on the bike.
30. That's 30.
And Matt, he's picked up an open-ended straight draw with a queen of clubs. He's going to make a semi-bluff, and he's going to bet $30.
No one's gonna call it.
2 players.
And it looks like
Dan called with second pair. I'm really amazed.
Dan called.
50.
And maybe Matt checked and Dan bet there on the flop. That might have happened. The deuce of spades comes on the turn here, and the river's a 5. And Dan still has the best hand, and it goes check here on the river. And Dan's going to take it down. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to see who initiated the action. If it makes sense that both players might have started it. I think Matt might have checked the flop there, and Dan bet with the ace-9.
Small blind, big blind.
Okay, you cover Tony.
Big
There's
blind,
Eric.
Too bad, Matt.
easy.
All right.
You got pocket 10s, king jack suited, king queen suited. A couple of hands people to play with here.
That's 40.
And seat 8 brought it in with pocket 10s. Nicole's going to call here with king jack of clubs in seat 9.
I don't know if I. Well, she's the race, $30. HS in seat 8 is a pretty tight player.
And Tony's
Actually, a very tight player.
and Tony's in there with king queen
Oh.
suited. And Eric's going to call with ace-9 of clubs. So
Yeah.
we're going to see a $160 pot here going to the flop.
He's asking about if Mo will buy him.
And Tony in seat 2 on the button. He's picked up top pair.
I heard on the internet.
Well, if you get pocket 10s here, Shirley, I would still probably fire into the flop if I'm the raiser in seat 8. But he looks like he's checked it.
I don't know about the
Why would you need
And Tony's going to make a bet here with king queen.
Some don't have a card.
Yeah, you get $3 a point if you have over 25 points.
Yeah.
So if I don't have to use
100 is the bet.
He's bet $100 into a $160 pot. So it's a $260 pot now, 100 to call.
Valuable, like 1 point worth $3.
And it's back to Hossein,
Everything.
Hossein, excuse me, with pocket 10.
HS, Bart.
He bet 100.
That's what he goes by on the board.
HS, you got
There you
it.
go.
How about Haas?
Okay.
There we go. Now this is a problem with checking that flop, Shirley. Now if you let out and you got raised, then you would
You would
release
know
it.
exactly where you were.
But there's only one over, and now he's put himself in a situation where the button could be betting with anything. He's betting 100 to win 160. So, as long as you fold a certain amount of time, it's proper for him to bet, with anything from a position. So, he's getting about 1.6 to 1 on his money.
Yeah.
That's not funny. Do you have the button?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Small blind, big blind. You're first.
Oh, I thought it was in the blind.
No play.
Well, you know, the good thing about this game, Shirley, is that when we first started spreading this game, which now I guess might be over 3 months ago now. Has it been that
It's
long?
been about that.
Yeah. It was a
players.
really, really tight game.
4 play.
And that's why we didn't put it on the show that much. But watching how it's developed now over the last
Check
2
around.
months, it's better. Better action game, better game. Ace 10 deuce, it gets checked around. The turn is a king.
Uh-huh.
So Tony has checked the ace that he has in his hand twice from position. Wow.
20.
And now he's going to bet on the river when, you know, someone might have made a draw. That's a little strange.
Well, I
If
mean,
I'm gonna play
honestly,
ace
that draw,
five-
that 9 wasn't going to help because if someone had the jack queen, they
Lines,
already
please.
had the straight, right?
Yeah, they would have already had the
Yeah.
straight with the ace out there. Unless someone was trying to sandbag the draw at the end. But, you know, it's a
Yeah,
situation
you bet
where...
your ace for the value, but at the end, you're only going to get the value from. You're not getting value, actually.
Yeah. I mean, if you're
They'll call you
playing...
if you're beat.
If you're playing ace 5 off suit, what are you really looking to hit? That's why we usually say don't play those types of hands. Now, he
Yeah.
was in
30.
position, but very surprised to see that he didn't bet the flop or the turn.
Which is exactly why he should have bet, because he was in position then.
Yeah. Eric's going to bring it in here for 30 with pocket nines under the gun to seat 7. And Tony's going to cold call with ace queen off suit. So pocket nines heads up against ace queen. Pretty good flop for pocket nines. 4-4-3.
Matt said all I have is deuces.
Rainbow. It's an $80 pot, $90 pot.
I know we're not very far into the show, but it seems like the bets have been relatively small compared to the pot.
Well, he's betting 50 into a $90 pot, and Tony lays it down.
Yeah, I haven't really seen, you know, pot-sized bets.
Thank you, Ted.
I knew that in the air or something.
She does work good.
I'm just really smart.
Big blind, seat 7.
Is that a toothpick in Nicole's mouth there in
Now
seat
if I could
9?
just
I think so. At first, I thought it was a sucker, but
That Rebo, you're in the hand.
You did.
You can decide that's what he has when you're in the hand.
Are you saying you'd rather see her, you know, be working on the blow pop?
the toothpick.
Chubby.
We can't.
Oh.
They decided to win.
There's always one person stopping.
Dan's limped in here in seat 1 with king jack suited, and he's up against the blinds. Dan's flop top pair here. And we see quickly how Ken mucks second pair there.
Are you thinking about?
No money in the pot,
Second
no
pair,
kicker.
3 kicker.
Right.
I just said it. I just wanted
Are you trying to get somebody else to live straddle?
Did you want me to live straddle? If I had gotten one hand yet tonight, I would live straddle for you.
Small blind.
I'm not going to yet.
He's giving you the pronunciation
Yes.
of his name.
Hentai.
Hintai
Hentai.
Gaijin.
Hi, hentai gaijin.
Gaijin.
Thank you,
Jin.
hentai
Gaijin.
gaijin. For those comments.
It
Hentai
means
gaijin.
sexually perverted.
You know that
Outside
your
foreigner. There you go.
You know that your shirt says Pocket Rocket.
It also says pot committed on
And
the
then we
back.
also have a comment here. Nicole sure is a chatterbox out
25.
there. She talk like that when she's in the booth?
Raise it.
Just wondering if you knew that.
50.
Quite the talker.
Yeah?
by myself.
I haven't had a chance to listen to her doing commentary.
Can't answer that.
Raphael raised it here from seat 4 with pocket 5s, and he's going to get called. Just called by Ken,
We can just listen.
who looks like who had jacks.
2
I
players.
know it's my friend Ken beat me. He's bluffing.
So I do not believe that Ken re-raised
Yeah,
here.
because this is about 5 minutes
Pre-flop.
All players check.
Check.
Uh-huh.
And the pot's about $100, and it goes check, check.
But you
Those new glasses suck. I'm going to have to go tell him that.
And look at he's checked again,
Put an ace out there for him.
and there's an ace.
I have jacks.
Wow. Well, got to use your position sometimes, especially no limit hold'em, right? If I was scared of one overcard to my my pocket pair, I would never make any money in this game. You know.
Oh, there's a
Oh,
message.
God.
Someone's calling me.
Tell everybody that's watching you play right now. All your buds.
My legion of buddies. All one of them.
Ah, good times, good times.
I got it set up, don't worry.
Eric's going to put in a little bit of a raise here on the button. there are a couple limpers. Perhaps he senses some weakness. He only has 9-6 of diamond, and he's going to make it 35 to go from the button.
Really what I thought is you weren't going to call if I did.
Okay.
And look at that. Dan Muck's pocket 7s in seat 1, which is a little bit surprising there, Shirley, because it looks like both Dan and Eric have, you know, decent-sized stacks where you would probably want to make that call
That means thank you.
with a mid-level pocket pair.
Just try to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
I'm going to play tomorrow night.
Yes, it does. You want to fight? In Chinese.
If I had gotten invited to go to Morocco, I might go there, but
Yes, but it means thank you in Chinese. And you know what? Ni hao ma means hello, how are you?
Dude, I told you you're right.
Why are you learning Chinese?
Because there's a lot of Chinese people here.
Do you talk a lot when you're on the table, Shirley?
I don't think so.
Now you're swearing. Are you learning Mandarin?
And Chinese.
Cantonese.
I'm learning everything.
There's Cantonese and Mandarin. You're talking Mandarin.
Well, as Nicole talks, she picks up a hand out of the small blind. She's got ace-king offsuit.
that was unreal. I'm the only one that went.
I'm going to raise.
And she's going to raise out of seat 9.
Yes, dear.
Deer. She said deer.
Don't play with Matt as 40.
I think it was a re-raise because Matt originally raised to
Yep.
$15.
And Nicole actually has the king of spades in her hand there. I know we have up as all clubs.
Okay, so next time.
Matt made it 15 in early position with deuce 3 of clubs.
Partly commentating when they turn the volume on us down.
And he shows it.
You almost don't have me. Definitely not.
50-50, they say.
60, 40, a little bit for the flush possibilities.
Deuce, ace. 3 and then king.
There you
Why
go.
would
See,
you
I have
have-
those type of reflector glasses too, with the mirror
That's
tint
what I
on
thought
them.
he had.
First,
That's why I
yeah.
Not that big though.
I'm not thrilled with those kind of tints.
Really?
Yeah, they look like police glasses. I don't like them. And then the shape of it. Believe me, when I go out there, I'm going to tell him something about it. So
Well, the whole po-
anything I'm ragging on in here, he's going to hear about it.
But the thing is, the whole point about wearing sunglasses
And I
at the
know
table
Zhao
is the
Yang,
fact
like goodbye, right?
that people can't see your eyes looking at them. Not necessarily that they can't look into you. So I see people wearing these sunglasses where you can look and see their eyes anyways. What's the point?
Yeah, but the reflector, you can look down at your cards and it reflects what cards you have on them.
I never really thought of that. Really? Is that why you picked it up?
Like no good.
Well, we'll get a close-up of Ken and see when he looks at his cards.
Speaking Cantonese for a second.
Ah,
Left out. I don't want to wear them.
They always laugh at my accent.
You can only read
Yeah,
what
well,
I
no duh.
Peter probably told him that I was bad-mouthing him.
Well, now Ken's picked up ace-king suited,
And he's pissed he put his glasses away.
and he's made it 20 to go.
I wanted to play that hand.
And Eric is called with an ace-5 offsuit. Wow, right to his immediate left. And we did get confirmation from the floor man that he did take his glasses off because the floor man told him that you were giving him
Yeah.
some stuff about that. So ace-king against ace-5, and the flop is 3-5 king. And Ken has checked the ace-king. Boy, he's gotten tricky like this all night. Let's see if he check raises here. He's just going to check call with the ace-king. Interesting.
And he doesn't know it, but he's praying for an ace.
3 comes on the turn. And he's going to check again here, and Eric's going to continue to lead with ace-5. He's going to bet 60. And now Ken is going to check raise.
He said he makes it 160, so
Yep.
it's a $100 raise.
So the pot is now about $380, $100 for Eric to call. $380 pot, 100 back to Eric. Now Ken, he has been playing tricky all night. The only thing is, what if the turn there had been a 5? Would he have gone broke? And Eric wisely releases second pair.
Don't show it. It's okay. We'll all see it anyway.
And look at that, the ace. We can see that the ace came on
Yeah.
the rabbit cam. Wow.
So it's a good thing he made that lay down. Otherwise, he would have lost it. Quite a bit of his
Eric
chips.
would have, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
he- 'cause
unless he
yeah.
put Ken on a 3, but I really doubt he put him on a 3, considering Ken raised pre-flop.
Yeah.
Both players would have had two pairs above the
threes,
threes
right. So ace
on the
and
board.
kings versus ace
Yeah.
and fives.
Yeah.
40.
Well, seat 8 there, Haas, he's made it 40 to go. He's got ace-king suited. But seat number 4, Raphael, has got pocket kings, and let's see how he plays it. He's going to re-raise.
80.
He's going to re-raise the minimum, so he's made it 80 to go.
Yeah, it's a little bit more than the minimum, but
I'm not invited.
75.
Right, because it's a $35 raise.
$35
Right.
raise, yeah.
more.
He's doubled the raise.
I never really fond of that, just the minimum raise.
Yeah.
I mean, it gives up so much information. Like, I have a huge hand. Don't you agree?
You're being
When
I
someone
do-
makes the
I do
small
agree.
little raise, it's
Yeah.
usually they have a huge hand
I
like
do
that.
agree.
seen.
But it is going to allow Haas to call here with ace-king.
What happened recently?
I know.
But he would have called a little bit more than that, too.
recently had
Queen 3-10,
influx.
so
of
Haas
very,
has picked up a
very
gut shot.
Loose aggressive players.
Well, loose.
And I think that Raphael is checked here. I think the action is on Haas. Yeah, so the pot's 160. And look at this, Haas checks right behind him. The turn is a 4.
Hey, 10-4. It's good here.
And you wouldn't think that Raphael would want to
He's
let
not
another
giving
free
one more
card
card.
off. Wow.
That was strange.
And he's going to bet $50 again into about a $160 pot. So it's about a $210 pot. 50 to call. Now, if Haas figures his ace king is good or the jack is good, he's got, he's getting 5 to 1, or almost between 4 and 5 to 1 on his money here. Now, if he could see Raphael's cards and he knew his ace was good, if he hit it, or a jack, he'd have about 7 outs. So he wouldn't quite have, the odds to call with one card coming.
Yeah, and then he has to factor in the implied odds, though, which he knows that on an ace he might not get paid, but
Right.
the jack he will get paid.
So he
nice
does
big
make the
value
call when the 10 comes on the river.
Went and found out what you just mugged.
What was it?
So now the pot's about $320.
I wish. Well, I don't wish, actually, because I wish
And
I have it. 150.
Raphael is back here.
$150.
And the only thing that Haas could possibly hope for is a chop pot here. I think that he's going to release, and he does release.
Set of queens.
No, be a full house at that point.
And someone said, do you think he has a set of queens? And that's maybe what Haas was thinking, too, that if he had a set of queens and I hit my jack,
I wasn't watching.
well, the pot would have to be laying him 11 or 12 to 1. But like you said, the implied odds, could I make, a ton more money if I hit my straight? So,
Maybe jacks.
moral of the story, it was a pretty weak bet on the turn there, Shirley.
Pardon me?
It was a pretty weak bet on the turn. He checked the
Yes.
flop, and it was a
Yes,
weak bet on the turn.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the hand where he made it 40, he made it 80?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and he had aces.
It was the same hand.
He had aces.
Six players.
Wow, 6-way action. And Ken had limped in with pocket jacks under the gun, probably trying to pull the limp re-raise, but no one raised. And it's a 9-7-3
35.
flop. And Ken's going to have to put out a feeler bet here with an overpair.
Yeah, when Bob actually slow played, set it down.
Now, let's see what Garland does here. He's got top pair with a weak kicker. He's out of position. That's a great laydown. You can tell that he's up on, on playing this game on Poker Theory. He's out of position. He's got no idea what Ken could have had there.
Maybe somebody will catch top pair and play with me, but he didn't do it.
That's weird, though. I mean, if he's going to go all in blind.
If I two pair, I play with you.
No kicker? Yeah, only bet 15 with that.
Dude, I'm in small blind.
I know.
And Nicole's going to bring this one in for $15 with pocket threes. This is obviously a pot builder type raise, hoping to get multiple callers if you hit your set, win a big pot. The only thing with that in No Limit is that you're always vulnerable to a re-raise. So she's got what she was looking for. 6-way action times 15. It's a $90 pot to the flop. And look at this. She's hit the set. So she's played it incredibly. She hit the set.
Unfortunately,
No one's
nobody
got
has
an
an
ace.
ace.
No
or
one has
nobody
an
a
ace
flush
to
draw.
play with her. Yep.
25.
And now she's going to bet 25. And you know what? She might not get any calls here. I mean, Ken's got King Jack, but Nicole's played pretty tight. Look at this, though. Matt calls with 3-6.
Wow.
Is he trying to set up a move? Maybe he's trying to set up a move.
A move if a
on the
flush card
turn.
comes.
Yeah. And now if you're Ken with King Jack, you get a bet from the raiser and the call in between. You're going to release King Jack, and he does. And Eric is in there with second pair. Wow, so she has got paid off quite a bit. The pot is now $165. A 9 comes on the turn.
Hopefully you get one more 9 on the river, and then you have the Stone Cold.
And now if I'm Nicole, I really push hard because I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Why are these people in? There are draws out there.
She put in a nice bet.
It was a $160 pot. She bet about 100. So that's good enough bet to get people off of cards, you know, draws with one card to come. And she takes it down.
You won?
I won. Big blind, please, sir.
I mean, it's always lovely to hit a set with in a multi-way pot when an ace comes on board. She just got a little unlucky there.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Thought maybe somebody had a flush draw.
I think they both did. No?
You had an ace, right?
You did not have a pair of threes. You know how I know? Because I had 2 of them in my hand.
You really had 3 aces?
3 threes. I'm sorry.
You thought the set of 3s?
That was a case 3.
I got to ask Matt what he was
Nothing.
thinking
That's
there.
the first hand I played all day.
Maybe he was just trying to make a call in position and he was going to make a move on the turn.
Yeah.
If she thought maybe,
The only thing I can think of is he was calling to pick up the pot if a flush card came.
or if she checked and indicating that she didn't have an ace, he could bet her off, saying that he has an ace. King 8 deuce, 2 diamonds. Gets checked around. Pot's been limped around. Doesn't look like anyone has a pair yet.
Well, Ken has a pair of 8s.
Oh, he's got a second pair, 7-8.
That'll work. Check.
And
15.
look at this. Haas is going to bet out here on a 3. Interesting. And
worked.
Ken mucks the 8. Wow.
But I'm strong.
Reputation.
I think he's just bluffing.
There's only $8 in the middle.
And there's more for you to win if you call his bluff.
Another 15.
I just don't see why you would.
$5 blank.
Well, there was actually $20 in the pot.
No, Dan.
He bet $15. So now,
Well, you got to factor in the collection. So there's probably $16 in the pot.
okay, yeah, you're right.
You bet $15.
$16. So you're looking at, you're getting 2 to 1. You're looking at a $31 pot, and you need to call $15. And that's what the odds were. I'm not saying if it was right or not to call there, but it was not
That
as
is 20.
exaggerated as he was stating.
Right.
Dan is raised here to 20 with ace king off suit. Raphael has cold called seat 4 with suited connector. We're heads up. Ace king against 7-8 of spades. 4-5-9. So Raphael has picked up a gut shot, and if you're deep chipped there, it might be one of these times where you
make
either
the
call
call.
or you make a move. You know.
Talkie.
I get nervous.
And he also has backdoor spade possibility. The turn is a deuce.
Like 10 minutes. You're leaving now to the tournament? I thought you were going to stay. Now you're not.
Matt, you're playing?
Look at this. Dan continues to fire away.
I'm learning a little bit about Dan's play. I always thought he was a pretty straightforward player, but
Yeah. Maybe Raphael also said, you know, if you check to me on the turn, I could.
What?
Look at Dan hand motion to fold. And he gets
Yeah,
Raphael
I'll
to lay
play.
it down.
Matt, you playing for real?
Now that's a type of play right there where you see Shirley in the bigger no limit games that we have on Fridays, and hopefully as we continue, we might starting to do them more often. Where you would see a Jonas type raise somebody like Dan if he felt
what
that.
is a Jonas type?
Well, Jonas type is somebody that plays a lot of hands in position and will take anybody on. and he's a player in that game. You know, on Friday nights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're actually referring to a player.
Yeah,
I'm like, I've
referring to
never
a
heard
player.
that term
I'm
before.
sorry.
Okay.
As I realize you probably haven't done one of those casts on Friday nights.
I haven't.
You'd see an expert player maybe raise big there on the turn, even with a weak draw like that, just to find out. Because especially if you know that someone like Dan will release an overpair, so the fact that he might not have an overpair, coupled with the fact that he's going to lay an overpair down, makes it worth it to semi-bluff in that spot.
Matt here flopped a straight.
You're playing too? Let's go.
Is this game breaking up?
Yeah, what? You're going to?
Hey,
Oh, Lordy.
Come on.
There is a tournament going on tonight, and it looks like a lot of the players are going to go play.
So now it's
Well, Nicole has bet $15. She's got an open-ended straight draw, but of course Matt has flopped a nut straight, and Matt raised her on the flop.
table short-handed on the internet.
Get open, Peter. They're going to get somebody on it.
Matt has now bet 45, and Nicole lays it down.
Look at what you started, man.
Now the problem, I don't know if Nicole, you know, that the board there Shirley was King 9-10, and I don't know if Nicole just didn't notice it, but you've got an open-ended straight draw, but if your top-end card comes, it brings a one-parter
one-card
to
straight.
higher to the higher straight. So you have to almost look at that type of draw as a gut shot.
Okay, and we have a player. It looks like
Welcome to the table.
I don't know his name.
Did you want
We'll
to join
find
us or
out
were
his
you gonna
name
wait?
there in
Yeah.
seat 6.
Yeah. It's only $5 discount. For you, discount. Yeah, $5.
And you have an option.
Check or
And he's posted
raise.
immediately. He's not going to wait
Option on your
for his
answer.
blind.
Option. Okay.
And then put it on.
Oh, look at that. Nicole's going to put his cards over the window for him.
100 more.
Good luck, Raphael. Good luck. Come out at on the rack. Yeah, you jump back in the game.
Tony has raised here out of the big blind to 100, kind of overdoing it a little bit with pocket 7. Sure.
Yeah, I would say so.
Doesn't want to see a flop.
One more.
Peter, what's the total that he's playing?
Two more.
And
Two more behind, yeah.
seat 6, whose name is Pock,
That's it right there?
he's going to call.
Both cards.
Both of them.
Open in the glass.
Yeah,
He's going to call the $100 raise with Jack 6 suited. Wow, Shirley, welcome to the table.
Wow.
Pocket 7s against Jack
And these
6
fools
suited.
are going to play a tournament.
Oh my goodness. Tony in seat 2 against Pock in seat 6. Ace 6 comes on the flop. And it goes check, check. Another ace comes on the turn. This game, of course, is a jackpot game, but can't happen here with this situation.
Time. If we have kings and an ace something, or kings, queens, or
So the
jacks or
pot is
tens,
about
She's
100.
rooting for a jackpot, but it's not
$10.
going to happen.
Nope.
has to be quad.
has to be aces full of tens, or better beat, yeah.
Now maybe Tony thinks it's good here, because what's the chances that the guy has an ace now that it came on the turn?
And an ace with a high, kicker
And
higher
Tony's
than
going
a
to
six.
bet. But you got to think, Pock has got Jack 6, Shirley. He's got a full house. If he called 100 pre-flop, you'd think he probably was going to call here, too.
The other one has the other ace with a kicker that beats the other.
Well, he lays it down.
No jackpot?
What the?
I wonder if he knew that he didn't have to call that race.
You didn't have a jackpot hand?
Oh, man. He makes the full house and folds. He calls a huge raise pre-flop with Jack 6. What's going on?
Peter, let him play his hand. Go ahead.
Garland there. Put in Pock's cards over. Oh, they decided to muck Pock's cards.
Dealer, lock both suits.
All right, he's back.
Who was here before?
He was here in the 200 game.
Option. Option.
Eric is limped in here with Ace Jack off suit, seat 7. And the blinds are in there with the
Is that
free
good,
ride.
huh?
Yeah, it's actually
7, 10, 4.
memorable.
2 diamonds. Eric's going to bet out there with
20?
overcards, Ace Jack. And he's going to take it down. So we got a couple new players coming in here, it looks like, to the vacant seats. And Nicole is actually going to come back and commentate with me the last hour and a half of the show when you leave right before, right after table talk. So.
Big line, sir, $5.
I was thinking about going to the Dodger game tomorrow. My beloved Giants.
Yeah. Tomorrow will be pretty much sold out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was thinking,
You always get good seats.
Is it worth it going down there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
To try to get. It says it's going to be sold out Friday night
Be able to buy tickets. They sold them in the street on the way up to the ballpark.
for twice the price of the.
Doesn't matter. $50.
25.
It's half an hour from here.
Got a $25 raise there by Tony, and he doesn't get any action. He takes it down as he gets a massage there. Of course, you can get a massage for $1 a minute here at the bike. There he is. Pretty good deal.
And he's been having a long massage. It's going to be,
Yeah.
what, like 30 minutes or so?
Get a blinds here, please.
Of course, if you want to watch this show and all the other shows that we've webcasted over the last 5 or 6 months, you can sign up for the archives at thebike.com. Just click on the on-demand banner on the bottom right-hand side of your screen, underneath the link to your website, Shirley.
Yeah.
And $14.95 gets you all of the saved action, plus an instructional DVD from Howard Lederer. So check it out. Nicole's going to bring this one in from seat 9 for $25. She's got an ace-jack suited.
Yeah.
And Puck's going to call here with king-jack. So we're heads up, ace-jack against king-jack. Puck has outflopped Nicole. King, 3-4, 2 hearts. But Nicole has got the nut flush draw. She's going to bet.
35.
She's going to make it 35. Puck is going to make the call. Pot's about $110. The turn is an 8 of spades. Let's see if Nicole takes a free card here, Shirley. Nope. She's going to continue to lead. She's going to bet $50. And look at this. Puck check raises are all in from early position. And now I bet you that Nicole wished that she had taken the free card, and she quickly mugs with 1 card to come. That's pretty ballsy with someone with king-jack. You think you'd want that information a little bit before I make that
Cheaper
move.
than that.
Yeah.
I messed it all up.
What if she's got ace-king?
We may try to do that. Then you catch it.
Nicole's asking for the rabbit cam.
Yeah.
Sheila had already shuffled it in,
I
so
should have checked on that.
didn't get it
You
this
said
time.
rabbit cam. I was like, yeah.
Garland's got a king-queen suited here in the cutoff. He's going to make it 25 to go. And he's not going to give him the action. Garland's from Northern California, San Francisco, Bay Area. Would you believe me if I told you that I've actually never been out there? I always wanted to go.
Wow.
Isaac shakes his head because I think he's from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like it better than Southern California?
He says yes.
Yeah. Hey, you can't beat the weather down here, though. LA and San Diego. And I can say that's because we just came from Vegas, which is just
Miserable.
yeah. Pac has made it 20 to go with ace-queen suited.
3 players.
And he's going to get called 3 ways. We have him up there as Pac. We'll get that information to you if it's Pac or Pac. King, 9, king. 2 diamonds. Action is on seat 6. He's going to check. And Eric, who had called with a 4-5 offsuit, he checks from the button. Turn is a deuce. Ace-queen still has the best hand here.
Is just one person coming,
Pac
Peter?
checks, and now the button takes the initiative to bet as it gets checked to him twice. He's going to bet $50. He has absolutely nothing. And look at that, Shirley. He's going to take it down again. Example of
Absolutely
position.
nothing but position.
Yep.
Thank you.
500 no limit game. No top line. wonder how much people buy in.
As much as you want.
No, but in general, like, what's the
3,000.
2-3 grand?
Is that a light straddle? Big blind, yeah.
Tony's putting in a live straddle there.
I know you
He's a
did.
third blind, and he'll be last to act pre-flop.
So we get 5, 5, 10 blind in this hand. Usually you want to loosen up your raises against the live straddle. There's more dead money in the pot. Seat 6 is going to call with a gap-suited connector, 7-9 of spades. He's going to limp in. Haas, who's played pretty tight all night, he comes in with an ace rag offsuit on the button. And Dan's asking Tony he's going to raise. Dan's not going to complete with 5 deuce offsuit.
3 players.
We're going to see three-way action. $30 pot. Ace 5, 7. Tony's got a nut flush draw. Seat 2.
30.
And Haas is going to bet on top pair here. See if Tony tries to make some sort of move here or if he's just going to call. $30 bet from the button with ace 6. No, he is going to call. I think he was thinking maybe I should check raise here.
Wait, yeah, but he thought too long.
Yeah. And now seat 6. He's got second pair. He's going to muck. So we're heads up here. Ace 6 against king 6 of diamonds. Wow, the turn is a king. And now Tony has a pair and a flush draw. And it goes check, check. Wow, and the river is a deuce. And Haas has dodged everything. He doesn't bet on the river, and he takes it down. That was going to be interesting, Shirley, because at that point, when the king came on the turn, I wonder if Tony would have check raised.
How long are they?
Nut flush draw, second pair.
Second pair.
But it went check, check. Eric's going to raise here in seat 7 to 20. He's got 8-10 offsuit.
2 players.
And Dan calls him in the small blind with an ace-queen offsuit. And we're heads up. King 6-9. Not a good flop for ace-queen. Eric should fire here and take it down.
20.
But how about this? Dan fires first. Wow. Now, Eric does have a gut shot straight draw.
He has a double gutter if I'm not. Oh, he doesn't have
Nope.
a double gutter. God,
Drawn
I'm
to the
so
7. Now,
bad at those straights.
now Dan's picked up top pair. He's going to bet 20 again. And Eric calls again for 20. Wow. The river's a 4 of hearts. Wow. So, Eric's played this like he's got a...
You can't raise me because I'm checking.
Wow. And Eric gives up. I was going to say, Eric played it like he was on a flush draw. But I guess he was just trying to hit his gut shot. And, of course, when you chase those gut shots with 2 suits on board, and if he had made it, would he even
Been able to
bet?
extract the value out of it.
Yeah. Or would he have even bet on the river if he gave up so easily when that third heart came? Interesting hand. Nicole's got pocket 8s in seat 9. She's going to make it 20 to go.
Girls can't raise. Only boys can.
2 players.
And Haas is called here with a king 10 offsuit. So we're heads up. King jack 4, 2 hearts. Haas has got top pair now.
25.
And he checks, and Nicole bets 25. So now the pot's about $65. 25 for seat 8 to call. And it looks like he's gearing up to check raise here.
75.
Right.
And that's what he's going to do. And I like that. I was going to say, Shirley, it seems like we've fallen into a mode where some of these players have been check calling with top pair.
Thank you.
With either the intention of making a move on the turn. I actually like to make moves early on in No Limit. See where I'm at. It's not like Limit where you can make more money down the road. You can bet any amount at any time. So why risk, giving a free card out with a check call and a check on the turn?
I think he checked just to kind of see what he was going to do. I don't really know if he had the check raise in mind when he checked. Her bet looked weak to, $20 into that pot. Like, she didn't like the king, and he probably figured, picked up on that as well.
Don't like that?
They draw 50 cents for if they don't play.
What happens if you see a flop with $10?
They drop $4.
Yeah, if they see the flop, they draw $4.
Why would anyone play then? Drop $4.
I still don't quite understand the toothpick in Nicole's mouth. She is seeming awfully girly, though.
But the toothpick doesn't go with the girly
No,
image.
that's what I mean.
Right.
That's what I don't get.
You're gaining $1 in the end.
Maybe she should change to
Now, the guy in seat
dipping or chewing
7,
tobacco.
he has a toothpick in his mouth, and it fits with him. And the tattoos and stuff on it.
Some people have made money that way.
Yeah, I know that.
But I
I know what Bart's would be like. But it's short-handed, yeah, I can agree with that.
Queen 8,
15.
10. 2 hearts. Deon's got the nut flush draw, and he's going to bet it. He also has a gut shot to the jack, so he's got a pretty big hand.
That's enough.
And nobody else does.
And you see how Garland had second pair, weak kicker. Obviously, he got rid of it real quick.
It's good.
Do have a seat locked up there in seat 3, so...
I actually thought I heard him say to lock both of them.
Yeah, I did too, earlier, about 5 or 10 minutes ago. Because we did have quite a board for this game when I checked it out earlier on.
15.
Nicole's going to make it 15 to go.
Sit right here by me.
Under the gun, it looked like. And she raised with a Queen 8 suited. Interesting.
3 players.
Changing it up a little bit. Wow, what a flop for Queen 8 suited when you raise pre-flop.
15.
4, 8, 8, so she's flop trips, and she's going to bet him right out. Like we like to preach. Not a lot of draws out there, and no one really has anything to call.
8 o'clock, maybe table talk. I can just eat while I table talk.
There's Ulette coming into the game, seat 3.
Who got yours? What seat? Who got yours? What seat? C5?
No, 30.
Oh. Option?
Tony chooses to limp in with seat 2 with pocket 8s. And we're going to see a flop. Jack 3, 5. 2 spades. And it gets checked around. Another 5 comes on the turn. Tony didn't
15.
bet out with the 8s on that flop. And now Haas is going to bet out on the flush draw. And he's got looks like a gut shot straight draw too. And Tony quickly mucks and Haas takes it down. I really don't like the way that Tony played that hand. I think with Ulette posting next to you, you're in middle position. Why not open the pot? We're dealing with kind of a tight table. He had pocket 8s. Why would you want to go up against someone else who you know would be so much more likely to fold if you raise? And Ulette. Of course, we know Ulette very well. And he kind of just gave up on the hand. I mean, the flop was Jack 3, 6.
Well, I mean, I think that rightfully so he should have given up because he did only limp. He had $5 invested in it.
Mm-hmm.
That ruined my hand.
I want that. 30.
Haas has got ace king. He's going to make it 30 to go from the button.
No, I mean by him. Just specifically that person.
What? He raised low?
I'm being facetious.
Oh.
Puck or Pock. Wow, look at this. I guess he likes to defend his blinds because he's going to make the
It
call
looks
with
like
Queen
it.
5. So Ace King against Queen 5. Oh, and he outflops him. Queen Jack 7. And it goes check, check. So Haas takes a free card. The turn is a jack. And Puck is checked again.
40.
And now Haas has bet 40. So we saw Puck make this move before where he check raised all in with King Jack with top pair. Was he trying to set up this move again now where he's going to check raise here big with Queen 5? Can't imagine that he would fold after Haas checked the flop. Unless he thought he was trapping him with something. He's going to make the call. Now Haas has a lot of outs. Straight or the overcards. He doesn't get there. 6 of hearts comes on the river.
That's it.
Check, check. Puck's going to take it down there with the queen.
Thank you.
They were saying that on 2+2 we see a couple of comments that Puck accidentally hit the call button when he
When he had the
posted.
Jack 6.
Yeah. Damn, I've done that before. It's usually when I'm playing 6 tables at a time though, but
There's nothing like that 200 from yesterday.
Why? What happened?
It's crazy. It's actually
5 layers.
some raises. Like I mean, there might be a
5-way action here.
20, 25, 30.
Dan has ace king, and I do not believe he blotted in for a raise in seat 1.
That's
He was
why
in
I
the small
like
blind.
3 to 5 best because the raises are the same, but you have more money to work.
Turn is a queen.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, if I was at a 200, I'd be dead already.
20.
With
I
no.
like at 40.
And Eric
Nobody
there's-
wants the pot. He's going to go for
He's
it.
going to bet it, and he's going to take it down with absolutely nothing.
You gotta work with what you got. But there's a theory. There's a couple of theories about having a short buy-in exactly. It induces more action. You can only lose 200 when people play a crazy hand like King Jack and stuff like that. And you can't go broke as fast. You just buy in 200 at a time. $1,000 will last you 2 buy-ins here versus 5 buy-ins. If you're a bad player, it'll last you longer.
Garland's giving his view of this game as opposed to the 200 game. Again, in this game, they do tend to play a little bit tighter. That's why we don't stream this game a lot.
25.
Eric's going to bring this one in for 25, and he's going to take it down. So if he had pocket 9s.
Afraid to raise, but they never gets down either, you know?
No one has anything. They can't do much.
50 cents for the drop, please, sir.
50 cents.
50 cents.
Wow. Russ McGinley posted up here a couple minutes ago that Phil Ivey
No, not yet. Next one. Next one.
was eliminated from the main event. That's surprising. Maybe somebody can tell me how that happened, because I thought he was second or third in chips, which means that he probably would have had to have gone up against someone with a lot of chips and lost. So that person's probably in the lead now.
20.
So someone can write and tell me what happened.
Rabbit hunt on that with that thing now?
It's good to know
Is that meant for rabbit hunt?
in case he moves.
Only on the river card, or you do?
$20. Jack 5-6. Dulette's got second pair. And she raised it
35.
out of the small blind. She's going to bet 35.
Oh, 3 to 5 games are usually very aggressive.
Puck's going to muck.
This is docile. Sedated. We're all like. We all have.
Live straddle.
Or
And I think Shirley, she left the booth. I think, as I was reading that, I think she probably took a call from Phil Ivey or something. Did you hear that?
It wasn't a phone call from Phil Ivey,
Oh,
but it was
okay.
a phone call regarding Phil Ivey. I want to go cry.
And I was saying that when we were looking at the chip counts, he had a lot of chips. So for him to go broke, he must have gone up against someone who had a lot of chips, which means that person must have a ton of chips, whoever he went up against and lost to.
Make it 40. You
All in.
You
He
should
had a
just
better
stayed
hand.
here.
You still gotta, you can buy back in for your regular stuff.
Choney has raised to $40 here.
By 800.
Couldn't quite see what he had
I think you have to.
out of the mid to late position there. Well, of course, Phil Ivey had put himself in great position, remember, to
You can do whatever.
have a lot of chips at the final table of the 2003 main event, and
Yeah, it was a good tournament.
you know, Moneymaker had flop trick queens, didn't really push hard enough on the flop, and Ivy called with sevens and caught the full
Nines.
house.
How the blind structure worked out?
Was it nines or
I
sevens?
think it was nines.
Okay, and one of
And
those
then he
mid-level
made, and then he
mid-level
made his
pocket.
full house on the turn.
And then
Got all the
Moneymaker
chips in.
caught the ace to
Caught the
make
ace
queens
on the
full of
river.
aces.
Uh-huh.
That was a huge hand.
Right, it was all
Make it
in.
30.
I call. He flipped over his hand. I flipped over mine. His was a lot better.
Oh, look at Ken's back already.
Yeah. He said he lost. He's already out of the
Yeah.
tournament. Of course, there's a no-limit frenzy going on here at the bike. It's a series of $100 no-limit tournaments.
And then at the end, they're going to have a points playoff for World Poker Tour seats, right?
Gonna get this hand.
I believe so.
I think that,
I'm not sure if it's plural. Maybe at least just one.
and that's actually Ken in seat 6. I know we have it up as Dan. But I think that Dan actually raised this one up with 3-4 suited.
No way.
And the flop is a jack, queen, 6. The turn is a 6. And Ken in seat 6 is still good with sevens, but he's still playing pretty. Oh, she's not good. Puck there on the button has jack 4. And look at this. Dan's going to bet 75. He's going to try to buy the pot in seat 1. Puck chose not to bet on second pair in position on the flop, and now he mucks. Look at that. And now Ken is thinking, well, Dan checked the flop.
I should go all in right now.
Are my sevens good?
Do it. It's so tough.
He's saying I should go all in. And
I don't think you would call me, Dan.
I'll call you.
No, you would.
And the reason why, you know, because he can easily. And look at this. He shows the bluff. He shows
and
3-4
Ken's sitting there
spades.
saying, I knew it.
There you go.
Thank you, Flores.
7?
What a bummer.
So Dan's mixing it up a little bit there in
Yeah.
seat 1.
You know how bad it is for poker for Phil Ivey to get knocked out right now?
I mean, you don't think it's good for poker if Mike Manasow
2
wins?
weeks ago, there was a hand on live at the
I think it would
back
be
nine.
good if the woman wins, Tiffany.
Betting it. George is here calling me.
Well, she's still in, right?
But yeah, she's still in, but she's the short stack.
Yeah.
It was great for poker if Phil would have won.
You know, I heard some.
And now I have no interest, honestly.
Figured you had 5 high.
I heard you don't want to see Manasow cry if he
You know,
doesn't. If
I think Madison's going to make great television, but I'm telling you, you just don't understand the respect and how much I admire Phil, you know, as a person, as a player. And I'm devastated.
Yeah, just call you. I win. If he wasn't to my left, I probably would have just called you.
Nicole has made it 25 to go here with pocket jacks,
I would go light a candle.
50.
and Eric's made it 50. He's got ace king.
That's
Nicole's going to call. So Nicole looks to be in position here. Eric was in one of the blinds, I believe. And we're going to see a flop. Well, it's pretty easy now, probably, for jacks to get away from this hand if Eric shows strength. But Eric checks, and Nicole checks right behind her. And look at
gets
this. The free card that Eric gave to Nicole. Nicole hits her set on the turn. Wow. $70. But you know what? Nicole doesn't really look like she has that much money left.
Well, she has the stack behind her other hand. It looks
Oh.
like she has about 150.
So now she's trying to figure out how she should play
Mine was
this.
King 10 suited.
So she does. She
Flop all in.
took the free card
No,
and
on
hit
the
the
flop
set
and
on the
top
turn.
Now, I don't like to flat call here at all.
Well, at this
Because
point
you
with
know she's
160.
going to call on the,
She's going to move all in.
Okay.
She said she'd
because
move
she was
all
going
in.
to call that on the river anyway, so she needs to get it in there and
Yeah.
try to make him lay down if she can, so he can't, you know, hit a
Spend all day
straight.
sitting
Right.
there and then get on the
There,
bubble.
grind and grind and grind. And
So the pot
he wants to come back.
was
Well, he has to call.
250, and she's going to go in for another 100 more. So it's a $350 pot, and it's only 100 for him to call. So
I
he's-
don't even think it's 100 to tell you the truth. It
Well,
looks like
we
it's
can't
like
quite tell.
yeah, it looks like it's about $70.
Okay. So it's even like probably the pot's about 320, 70 to call over, 5 to maybe 4 to 1. With that size pot, you would imagine that he's going to call. Plus he's got a gut shot to the 10, like you said, obviously. There's a perfect case of No Limit, too. Now, obviously, we're not dealing with extremely deep stacks in this game, where if you try to get tricky and you're very, very deep stack, letting a free card can kill you because you can lose your whole stack.
Right.
You know?
Well, I don't think he was going to lose his whole stack if he's agonizing over a $70 bet here.
Now I don't even know if it's 70. It looks like. I mean, the pot is about, over $300, so I would be really surprised to see him lay this down. And to be quite honest with you, I don't think it really
We'll find
would.
out the race here.
I don't think it would be the right lay down. It's 80.
That's not 80. Sounded like she said 80. Maybe 60.
Well, it could be.
Can we get a view on those chips?
You're right. There's no.
20,
yeah,
40.
it is 80 because she's got an extra chip in one of the stacks there.
That's
why.
65.
She's got.
Those were only stacks of 4.
Well, they must be stacks of 5. If she said 80, right? 1, 2, 3, 4,
4 or 5.
Yep.
$80.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right.
And he calls, so he's going to need to catch a 10 here. And the river's a 3 of diamonds. And she's going to take it down. Robert Turner, we were talking about Robert Turner, who's the executive host here. He got 97th today. And he was telling me some stories. I said, well, isn't it great for poker that this lady from Britain is in there? And then he said, well, let me tell you what I saw, because he was playing with her the entire time one day at the table. He said that she took a ridiculous amount of time
on all her decisions.
And he told me about one hand where she had about 60,000 in front of him. The guy that she was playing heads up against had 30,000. And the guy raised, or she raised and the guy re-raised. She raised to 2,000, the guy re-raised to 8,000.
Nothing's been hidden for me yet today.
And she took 20 minutes to eventually say all in. She was playing with the purse, got up, doing her nails, she made it look like she had absolutely she was not paying attention. Until finally they said, all right, they're going to put a clock on you. And she dropped her chips and she was like all in. And the guy immediately folded. And then she turned over 7 deuce offsuit.
Really?
Yeah, really. And that's like, well, that's a little. I didn't really know what to think about that. Like, he told me what she did during those 20 minutes. Went into her purse, put some lipstick on, looked at her nails.
Oh, that's horrible.
And then dropped her chips and said all in, and then showed 7 deuce offsuit. So now I wonder, what type of lady this is. And this is Robert, who was playing with her the entire time on that table.
And I have heard that. I heard the same thing, that she was taking a ridiculous amount of time on most of the hands she was involved in.
Now, you let his raise here to 20 with pocket kings, and Garland immediately mugged. I know I saw it in the whole card cam. Ace-Jack offsuit. And obviously, Garland watches his show a lot.
He watches the show. He knows we let it.
He's going to know that Ace-Jack offsuit is not good in that spot when you let raises.
Every round for 3 more hours.
Trying to do the math.
Be enough, I bet, to make her back.
But looking at the rest of the field that's in the main event, now that Phil Ivey is out and Raymer is out,
Johnny Wanda's out.
You've got Matisau, and then what other
All that play and I'm right
names are there in there that people would recognize that are still in there?
I think that's the only one that I recognize that's left.
Tim
Fan was eliminated.
Oh, he was.
earlier,
I was going to
too.
say the day 3 leader, Tim Fan, he's not. I mean, he's had limited success. You haven't seen him on ESPN, but if you look up his name, he's
right.
I
mean, I'm aware of his name.
He's not a new tournament player at all. But in terms of everyone else, I didn't really recognize anyone else. Now, I'm not going to be the person that's going to recognize the most names, but.
Can't say much.
Kick everybody's ass in this whole place.
He's just a big, nice guy.
He's a big kid.
I'm ready to take my money. My money's getting taken everywhere. I'm not doing anything about it.
Tough and nice, It used to be tough where I go
like a teddy bear.
That's what I think. Tough
Okay,
teddy
we have a limped pot here. We let limped and Early position jack, 8 of spades.
Yeah, every player go up there and hug him now. Which started.
That's what I was going to do.
We'll make it 80 then.
80.
20, 40, deuce 8, 6, 2 spades on the flop.
All in.
Yeah, your 80 would be like all.
You want to play with us, Lizette?
So it's a $20 bet by
Come
Tony.
on.
And Yulette raises to 40 with top pair and a flush draw.
Flush draw, too.
Now, Tony's got the gut shot, and he's drawing to a smaller flush, so he's in trouble.
Bring over the orange chips. We'll play with them.
He'd have to catch a non-spaded 3. An ace comes.
A spaded 3 would work.
60.
What do you think, Bart?
A spaded 3 would give him a straight flush.
I think
Right.
that'll work.
Look at Raphael's out.
When I play No Limit, I play
You guys should have just stayed
And well,
here.
now he's double gutted.
No Limit 6.
And he's going to check raise with a double gutter and a flush draw.
He's not double.
A 3
You guys just
or
wait.
a 7,
25 bucks for
right? A 3 or a 7. I know those are difficult to pick up, but he's got a giant draw
So
now.
he was, yeah, the ace
Yeah.
didn't make a difference. He was already double gutted. 4, 5, yeah, he was already. A 3 or a 7 on the flop.
No, turn the boat. River to better boat.
So double gutted. He's got the inside straight flush draw, and now he's making a huge semi bluff here. And Yulette looks like she's going to lay it down.
Who is his horse? Matt?
He's check raised to about 200 more. It looks like.
Actually, I think Mo got him in
Mo's in there?
And she's going to lay it down. And the rabbit cam shows a 5 of clubs, which,
Wanted to show bluff.
Yulette would have won the hand.
Yeah.
Tony would have made a pair, but
right.
Yulette still had him
So
with the 8.
on the flop, that was an interesting draw. Again, double gutted with a flush draw.
Yeah, I missed
Yulette
it.
had
Missed it
top
something.
pair to a higher flush draw. Now, obviously, when that ace comes on the turn, that's a great card to make a move like that on, right? Check
10
raise.
minutes.
When the ace came
Yeah,
up for Tony?
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what he
It was
did.
a great move on his part.
Phil Ivy's out there.
Yeah, he left.
tables, huh?
He left the World
Play one
Series to
of
come
Benji's,
play
one
the
here.
The
friendly.
$100 friends.
He was in the second chip position last night.
I hope they didn't say one with that. Look, same spots.
Eric is going to raise here to ace jack with ace jack suited.
And that is
25.
Raphael back. Boy, these guys are.
Hi. That's Yulette, by the way.
Wow, Garland's going to muck. He had limped in with ace jack suited, it looked like. And he mucks for the $25 raise. Very, very tight play.
That's one thing, you know, that I find with a lot of the players that do read and do their math and do all that stuff, why they play a nice solid game. There's something to be said about getting action to get action.
Well, this
You
is
know, and he comes in raising. I mean, he's not going to get the action because he's been playing so tight.
well, this is one of those, you know, this is the in-between game. Now we say that a style that's very, very tight solid is definitely going to win you money long term in the 100 and the 200 game. You're not going to win in the unrestricted buy and no limit games that are higher.
The 500
Right.
higher, right.
Now this game, it's interesting because it's
It
in
could go
between.
either way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I know that.
I mean, if you want to play a style of play that's tight solid, I think that you can win a little bit, but it's not going to be the most profitable way to play.
I should have had you put me in.
If the chips are deep, if the stacks are deep. Now, if they're short, then you can revert back
40 more.
to.
What do you have? Deuce 3?
Now, Nicole is raised here at 20 in the cutoff, and Dan's going to make it 40 to go with pocket queens. And Nicole quickly mucks the king jack offsuit.
I had a king, but not an ace.
Two sets, double sets.
So it looks like Matt's the only one left that went to go play in the tournament now.
No, I didn't.
Probably fell off the table. No, you probably.
You want to go back to that 5 again?
No sold my seat already.
You sold your seat.
How much was it?
15.
You sold my seat already. I better go. I'm gonna go get the coffee.
That kid with the quad sixes is back over there. Still got his money over there.
What kid was quad 6?
The guy that got quad sixes on Matt's Jack's full. Matt flopped the boat, Jack 6-6. The guy had a 6-7, river to 6.
Looks like there was a $15 raise there.
Filled up on the river.
I believe by Dan with the ace-9 suited. Or actually, it could have been by Eric with 3-5 of clubs.
Yes.
Eric's going to check regardless. Flop is 8-10-3 here.
And Tony has cards over there. He's hiding them.
So Tony is in there too. So Dan checked to Tony.
Now we got to find out what Tony has.
He's got
Is it
eights. He's got a
eights?
set of
Set of
eights,
eights.
and he's going to bet 20. And Eric has folded in seat 3.
Probably has more money than he does now. 'cause we're
And
playing
Dan, I'm
Speedy
sure, is
One.
going to fold with ace-9. So Tony hit a set right there. Bet it.
You probably do it 100 times in a normal game. You just never know.
You know, some people would preach there too, Shirley, that if the board isn't that coordinated,
That's a time to slow play.
and it's it's rainbow, and you've got an aggressive
And there's
player
not
in front
and
of
there's
you.
not big cards out there, so you're
Yeah.
not going to be.
You
the
could
people-
you could check behind that one and see if Eric's going to fire in on the turn, or Dan for that matter. Now that we've seen him play.
What?
Sounds like me. Kings versus
Maybe
Jacks.
it's the same thing.
That was the story of my World Series.
They're straightable.
Ivy had Jacks.
Yeah.
Cantor had Kings.
7-2.
Sounded like Ivy was a little bit short stacked from before that, and got all his money in with Jacks and Cantor had Kings.
4 players.
You got to see 4-way action here. Looks like there was either a live straddle or a mini raise to 10. King, Queen, 8. Rainbow board. Raphael in seat 4 on the button. He's got
Yes,
top
Wendy,
pair,
actually.
and he's going to bet with King Jack.
10-handed.
Yeah, well, no objection.
You don't have 10 windows.
And Eric's going to call here
You
with
just,
bottom
you just don't need a
pair.
window for your hand, that's all.
Wow. He's going to call a $20 bet with 6-8.
9, and then the
Turn is a 9.
We're already doing that.
Jack picks up additional outs with a gut shot straight draw now.
50.
He's going to bet 50.
What?
And then Eric mucks. We've seen Eric make some questionable calls all night, Shirley. Seat 7 out of seat 7.
Oh, towards the beginning, I thought he was playing some pretty solid poker. It seems.
And
Over
the
the
rabbit
last
cam
half hour.
actually showed an 8, which would have given him trip
trips.
8s, but there's just no way you can call there
A Fiat?
uh,
A collectible.
on the turn. Or he probably should have been out of there on the
Big
flop.
blind for seven.
You said 409?
Yes.
Now, can you do that?
Dimitri, that's the Fiat, right?
Fiat?
Isn't it? No?
You know what's the Fiat stand for?
Because this 3 and 5.
What does it stand for?
Fix it again, Tony.
Get 25.
Oulette's going to bring it in here for 25. Look at this. She's changing it up. She's got 8-5 of diamonds this time. But Eric's going to come in and is blind.
One more.
Uno mas.
So we got 8-5 of diamonds. And Eric's got pocket threes. It looks like Eric's reloading here. He's going to play from 500 behind now. 6, deuce, 6.
Yeah. Check.
And Oulette's going to bet. She's going to bet 50. And it's kind of tricky for pocket threes to play here. I myself tend to get rid of this hand even with this type of flop, Shirley.
Really? See, I would be betting on that flop.
Well, so you would check raise?
If with the threes,
Yep.
I would play those threes. Yes. I would not check raise. I would lead out with them.
Even against a raiser like Oulette?
Yes.
Well, he's going to make a call. Well, I think that we both probably can agree that check calling in that spot probably is not the right move.
It's not how I would play it.
The turn is a queen of spades. And now it looks like he's going into his chips, and he's going to bet 100. He's representing flush. And Oulette's going to quickly mock as we see that she had actually raised with a very weak hand, which is very rare for her, trying to change it up
But
a
you know,
little bit.
that's what you keep saying. And I notice on the 30-60 game, she does play tight
Yep.
when she does fill in there. But in the no-limit games, when I play with her, she does like suited connectors.
Well,
You haven't seen...
we don't see Oulette play in
I already told you that.
this game. Well, we don't do this game that much, and you don't do usually on Friday nights where we see her the most.
Right.
And she's just really played a very, very tight brand,
Okay.
in my opinion, in that 500 game. Now, this is a different game, so maybe she's going to loosen it up a little bit.
Yeah, he's working on that Altium Arcanos.
20.
This is pretty bad.
We get confirmation that now Min Lee is out 19th, so Manasaw is the last, I guess you can call it, person that people would recognize.
Well-known
Named pro,
pro.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure we'll get to know everyone that's made the last two tables
Yeah,
over the course of last
and
year.
most likely is not the last poker professional
Right.
in there, but the ones that people would know by name.
Right, right.
How much you want to say?
You're not the boss. Dang it, Kenny. 25.
I mean, I actually like Manasaw. I
Trying
mean,
to be like me.
because he's so emotional about the game. I think that he's going to have a breakdown if he loses, especially now if he's chip leader with 18 or 19 people left. We're heads up here. It's a $20 raise pre-flop. Pocket fours against 8-9.
And Roulette didn't lead out with it neither.
No. Queen, 3 queen. Turn is a queen, and now Youlette's going to bet.
At 50?
And Eric quickly mucks as the queen comes on the turn there.
So honestly, when I saw the World Series last year and I saw Mike Matusow, I was touched. I thought that he was very sincere and he was getting over these problems and he's this and he's that, and I felt a little bad for him. And then 6 months later he gets busted, and do you even know of all that story?
Yes.
He sits there and talks about
Right.
how, he had a little bit of problems with drugs and this and that, and then he ends up getting in trouble for it 6 months later, and that kind of makes me think, it was all done for television. I'm not sure, He might have repented for the World Series and then found himself back into it.
I better check what I have.
5-way action here, limped
I
around.
have some of that.
4 Jack 3. Tony had a King Jack out of the blind. But Dan's going to bet with Jack Deuce, and Tony doesn't raise. He's just going to call. And Nicole's in there with an open-ended straight draw. So we get a little bit of a pot now. It's about an $85 pot. The turn is a 5. Now Nicole has a pair and an open-ended straight draw. And Dan has a pair and an open-ended straight draw with Jack Deuce. He's going to bet 20. What do you think about Tony not raising at some point in this hand? With someone next to act?
Now.
Okay, so he's waited to the turn to raise. Going to make it 70 total. And Nicole quickly folds. And Dan with that draw, as he's got the open-ended straight draw with top pair.
Yeah, they are UV rays. You get to play poker and get a hand at the same time. We do.
Pot's about $130. I believe 50 for Dan to call. So he's getting over 2-1. Now he's getting over 2-1 with one card to come. He figures if he catches an ace, a 6. The question is, what can you put Tony on? Does he already have a straight? And of course, if a deuce came for Dan, giving him 2 pairs, it would bring a one-liner straight to the board. So again, King Jack against Jack Deuce. Dan's going to make the call here. Maybe that was extra draw.
I think Tony convinced him to make the call.
And look at this. The river is an ace, and Dan has made the straight. And now he's going to bet a strong bet, $100, right into that pot, into about a $260 pot. He's betting $100, it looks like. Or $210 pot. He's betting about $100.
Same as I had before.
I actually wanted to see a blank card come on the river there, Shirley, because I wanted to see how that hand would have played out on the river if a blank had come. Dan would he have thrown one of those defensive, say, blocker bets in on the river because he wants to call with his jack deuce? Would have just got a check down? But we had an action card that came on the river. And now if you're Tony, you're going to be thinking, what can I beat?
All these guys, really, they got no jobs. They just come here every day.
What can I beat if I have King Jack?
That's the problem. You got to get a green card first.
Look at that. He's going to make the call.
Jack deuce.
Tony's in shock. And he's had
obviously it's we have the luxury of seeing the cards, but I don't think I would have made that call on the river with King Jack. I mean, what is he calling you with on the turn to set up?
Right.
A move like that on the river.
Well, I'm sure Tony's sorry he convinced him to make that call.
Yeah.
Because Dan was going to fold, and then I don't know if you caught all that. And then Tony said, "Oh, I know you're going to fold," and Dan, was saying like, "Why would you think that?"
Right. So it was kind of like a testosterone thing.
Yeah. Well, you know I'm going to fold, so I'm not going to fold.
Well.
Get 20.
I was thinking for my daughter.
Top pair, open-ended.
Did you catch that part?
He said that Tony told Dan that it was only a $50 bet, so don't think too long about the call. That's what they had said.
Okay.
Now Dan's going to have to show us his hand.
I mean, you said out
Raphael
loud,
raised to $20 with King Queen. Ken called with the Jack 9 of spades. And Yulette has flopped 2 pairs. She was in the blind and she called a $20 bet with Ace 5.
35.
And it gets checked around to Ken, and he's going to put in a bet with a flush draw with Jack 9.
What?
And, no. Did Yulette have Ace 5?
All the cards are gone.
Wow. Well, I can't imagine that the cards were up there right for that hand. Can't imagine that.
Both of us leaned forward like, what's going on?
2 pair was no good. Obviously, you showed a straight.
No, just now, he said. Just now.
Ace
She
5 is no
did
good.
have 2 pairs.
Really?
Spades, incoming.
Wow. And she mucked it just like that? Do you see what I mean? She called with Ace 5 offsuit preflop to a raise.
And then he's the best
she
possible flop she can have.
Flopped 2 pairs, then she check folded. Well, that's a new one.
10 of diamond exposed.
And we just heard that she
did
said she had
indeed
Ace
have
5.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I've seen her play a lot and saw her play kind of a ridiculous game in the shootout that we had a couple weeks ago. So that's why I said that she's to the utmost of tightness to the point where you're losing value when you play hands.
That's one.
I'm still waiting for you to give me some.
And now the flop here is 8 deuce 4. We're heads up. Dan's going to bet with a flush draw, and you let check calls for 5s. And it goes check, check on the turn, and the river's a 4.
50.
I don't really like the bet there, Shirley. If Yulette thinks she has the best hand, why not check to induce a bluff? If Dan checked the turn, you probably can put him easily on some sort of draw. I think I might have check called there with the 5s, but she bet and she got Dan to fold and she took down the pot.
Oh, really? Yeah. How often does he have a game?
I think what was we were so surprised about is she folded Ace 5 like it was nothing. Like it was just...
She didn't
Like
even
that.
think about it.
That was really strange. Really
25.
strange. And all Ken had was a flush draw. New player coming into seat 2. It's Henry.
I guess.
5 and 5. So 3 to 5.
500? Still thinking about it?
500.
Gonna go there after this?
500? I'm out of money to be won and lost.
We have about 10 minutes left before we go to our
Keyword.
Yes, keyword.
portion of table talk for tonight.
Yeah, the same as this game.
Got a limp and a limp.
20 more.
And Ken is going to raise out of the big blind. He's got king, queen suited. He's going to make it 20 more to go. Now, see, Eric, he's going to call the 10-9 offsuit in early position. Henry's in there, who had posted with king, queen. And now the table's loosening up a little bit. Raphael calls with the king, 9.
Rags told me I should fold.
I'm sure Garland is not in the hand. 6, 7, 7, 2 hearts.
55.
Ken bets right out here with king, queen. He's going to bet 55 into about
I don't think I've seen you play hands since I sat down.
What's that?
$100 pot, so the pot's about 155 now.
Wow, look at this.
That was it, yeah. Before
Yep.
I got here.
Eric's making a move there with this inside straight draw.
With overcards.
That was it. That's how you
And
made your
that's
money.
enough. He's going to take down
He
about
is gonna take it
$150
down.
pot.
Well, I haven't had anything since.
Yeah, me neither. What am I talking about? Thank you.
I said in this game in the 4-hour.
So you kind of like made comments about this style of his play, but I've seen him make a couple good moves in between there too. So
I have. No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Did anyone give you crap about that? Did anyone give you crap about that?
You know, in a no-limit game, like I said, the strategy changes surely where
No smoke in their face.
there's no problem playing a lot of hands in position in a bigger no-limit game. Calling with 9-10 offsuit to a big raise in position. If you're skilled enough to play against the player you're playing, then I don't have a problem with it. We've seen that with good players. But calling with hands, like calling with bottom pair, like I've seen him do, stuff like that, that's where I start to question. And playing hands out of position, too. You know, so it's an interesting mix. 6, 7, 8 here on the flop, 2 clubs. Seat number 8 there, Haas, who looked like he limped in with aces. He did not raise. He's going to bet $15, so he's played his aces slow. And Ken is going to call here with second pair. The turn is a 9. Boy, that's got to be a scary board for aces. And actually, Raphael's got pocket 4s. Ken is not in the hand. The river is a queen, so it's aces against pocket 4s.
Hiya!
Living dangerously with pocket rockets.
Yeah.
One big pair.
Wow.
He said one pair.
It's small box.
And that's exactly what he's done. He had limped in under the gun with aces. Probably trying to go for the limp re-raise, but didn't get there.
Right.
A very scary board.
To throw it away without showing, huh?
Yeah, I didn't have that opportunity.
River was queen.
I had king 6. I thought it was a 2.
And now Haas has got a toothpick in his mouth. Do you think it's the same one that Nicole was chewing? Won't go there. Won't go there. I mean, if you just took it out of her mouth, she really couldn't do anything about it, you know.
The same box, please.
Oh, this is good. Look, there's no green chip going on right now, or what? Nobody says anything, you don't say anything.
They don't say I don't say. They told me to play here. So.
Well, we're short anyway, so it's not hard.
That's why they told me to play.
Raphael's going to limp in there in seat 4.
Drive all the way down here just to muck.
Ace ragged.
Four player.
Yeah, I'm playing the cards.
And we're going to see 4-way action.
Common
Limped
hands
around.
Say the same thing. He's got crap.
Jack, 9, Jack. Haas will slop trip jacks from the blind.
So am I.
And he's going to check. And Nicole's going to bet out on an open-ended straight draw. She's got queen 10. Haas is going to play it slow. Turn is a 3. Now, if I was Nicole, I would definitely take a free card here,
Yes.
Shirley.
And
And
she
she
did.
does. That's great. And the ace comes on the river. Well, she didn't get there.
Which one? You win.
Especially with the board paired, and you know someone's check called me on the
Yeah.
flop. I think that was a really good way to play that hand. Not a good way for Haas to play the hand, but good way for Nicole to play the hand.
Nice strudel.
Nice rattle.
I thought that was you. I was like, no way.
Believe me, I have straddled before.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't a 1-2 game.
And it's made it $4 to go.
Yep. So I have straddled before. So
Gonna see a live straddle here.
Get 35.
And Ken's gonna come in for 35 with ace 10 of clubs. He's gonna make it 35 to go.
don't let me go.
And Henry's gonna call in the straddle position with king 10 offsuit. And Raphael's in there with the king queen suited. So three-way action times 35, about a $105 pot or $100 pot
Plus
after
blinds.
collection. 9-6-4.
Check.
No one really caught any bit of that.
Check. Checking her in.
3 checks.
The turn is a deuce. Now Ken's picked up the nut flush draw with the clubs,
At 50.
and he's going to bet. $50 into about a $110 pot.
Right.
I don't know how I keep winning without any pairs. It's just so ridiculous.
Is you
man.
betting?
I just can't
And
get
no one
it.
else has.
Don't get it. No pair. I
You
always
had the
win.
best hand.
That's the way the truth is not.
This is going to be our last hand
Betting blind.
before table talk.
She raises blind. She doesn't bet blind.
Shirley, thanks again for coming in for the first 2 hours of the show.
My pleasure.
Nice try.
We will see you next when? Hear you next when?
Next week.
Next week, okay. See that Tiffany Williamson is still hanging around
What?
in the tournament.
Right. Although 1.1 million is looking a little short now.
Yep.
Get 15.
Nicole's going to make it 15 to go here with Jack 5 of clubs on the button.
He's a commerce
But
player.
look at this, seat 2 there. He's got pocket aces. It's Henry. How is he going to play it?
Then he happened to show up
He's in the
today.
blind.
Where is he? Isn't that weird?
Ace.
Makes it $45 here. I think that's it.
Yep.
He just won himself a $20 pot.
I can't imagine that Nicole's going to call here
No.
with Jack 5.
Yeah, I don't
Looks like Eric quickly mucks the 8-9 offsuit in seat 7.
She's just putting on an act.
Yeah, you can play anywhere.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us right now. We're going to turn the commentating mics down and turn the table atmosphere mics up. Please enjoy tonight's portion of Table Talk.
This guy.
This guy?
This guy.
Oh, you play the commerce too?
You're not blind. But the bike is much better.
Straddler. That's what he meant.
Why don't you tell us why, Nick?
The rakes are smaller.
And the people are nicer. Nice straddle.
Back up the umpire, he was pounding on it.
Does it have anything to do with free food?
Jeff Kent?
Sure, but you know what? Actually, they do have that on the 400 tables at Commerce now.
No. Oh, now at the 400?
Yeah, not the 200.
And the 600's always had it. Free food.
What's he mad about?
But don't go there because of that. Just come here. Four
Food's
play.
better here for sure.
The post play at first, he was safe, but he didn't tag the bag, so they bagged free up.
Did he get kicked out of the game?
Apparently. Yeah. Yeah, he's out.
Oh no, don't do that.
Uh-oh. Right in his face.
Not a good idea.
I like those umpire hats. they have.
I got position.
Check.
Go ahead. I'll give him a free card.
You don't like them? You don't like them? Eat bucks. $8.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I have to leave in a half hour.
What? That's okay. I got someone taking this.
I'm commentating.
I did.
Oh, we're on Table Talk?
This is it.
Table talk. What? Nobody's going to be bad-mouthing us for the next half an hour.
Yeah. Feel free to play as crazy as you want right now.
Yeah, right. Well, the internet, who cares about that?
We don't care.
I'm sure I got crap on some of the hands I play already.
You've only played one hand. I'm sure they wouldn't talk that much shit about it. The only hand you played was against me.
You were gone in the tournament, weren't you?
What happened? I called.
He saw a flop when you were in the tournament.
Oh.
$20. Pot's been raised to 20.
Odd.
That's right. Absolutely.
The only other hand he played, he beat me with a runner flush.
4 players.
You never bet. Oh yeah, you bet. Bet the
I
tournament.
bet when you had the flush.
Yeah. Good idea.
Good instinct.
I went all in when you had the flush.
You did? You went all in? You
Well,
lost.
there's a reason I called the turn.
45? 45.
You're not in the hand.
$45, heads up. $40. Ten of hearts.
Beautiful.
You win.
The tip count brought to you by Poker Gaming.
Should've gone all in on
Thank you,
the flop
sir.
when I had the best hand.
Then you were scared of the flush.
I didn't have a heart.
That's what I'm saying. You were scared of
I
it.
made 2 pair on the river. I still don't have a heart. He's drawing the only flush because I have ace 10.
How are you this evening?
Great, Nicole. How are you?
Very good.
Good.
You were in the blind.
I didn't want to mess with you.
Okay.
He's acting cool. No, I really don't want it.
It's a small blind anyway. See? I surrender. For a flop would have come 3-3-3.
Good.
Still
Good.
miss. What? I still miss.
Very nice. One for me, I'm the blind.
Thank you, sir.
2 pair, bottom 2 maybe.
Let it go. Live it and then let it go.
Pot has been raised to 25.
Done? You can't get your points anyway, right? What's the difference? Don't matter. Oh,
Got a blue one? Go ahead.
would you have to pay cash for the difference?
Thank you, sir.
No, you can only. No, she's right. We can only eat once a day. You guys can eat as much as many points as you have, but if we work here, we can only eat once a day.
Can't feed us with your points?
Mo can. We can.
Small, big.
Special privileges.
Well,
Mo is Mo.
yeah, Mo's Mo.
You just don't understand.
He's the boss.
I know.
He's the boss. That's why. Yeah.
That's Mo. Mo
Don't
money.
mess with Mo.
Mo money. Mo food. Mo anything you want.
Mo massage.
25.
Because I have a million bazillion points on my card, but I still can only eat once a day.
Well, yeah, you get over 40 points a week.
What about when you're off? Can you do that when you're off?
I have to ask him about that. 'Cause I don't know.
Because you play when you're not on.
Yeah, I know. A lot of times I'll just have Mo by me sometimes. anyways. If I'm sitting at that table and he
Yeah, but
uses
if
his
you
card.
play,
3 players.
let's say you come on Saturday and you rack up 8 points. Do you get cash for those if you're over 25?
Does he work here? That'd just be like another bonus. I mean, that's a lot of money that they figure they're
Yeah, but
giving
if
you.
you're here on your off time, it's
No, I agree. But I'm happy we get free food. It's cool.
Heads up.
Where do you think players who don't play cards get for meals? Like the quarters and stuff, where do they get for a meal? They don't get a meal?
25.
Yeah, I got.
They were working in a restaurant where they didn't feed everybody, you know.
Do you guys get free food, Greg? No. See, yeah, I don't think anybody else does actually.
You get a discount if you order on
So we got a
you get
good
a
deal.
discount from the little shop over here.
Yeah, get a discount there, yeah.
It's like
Or at the Dragon Room.
10%.
J Dragon or something.
That pretty much sucks.
So yes, I'm happy we at
The
least get free food.
privilege is working here. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
How about if you play in your off hours, can you use your card when you're working to order?
I don't have a card. I don't play here. I refuse to play here.
After you work here 40 hours a week, then you don't want to come back.
I don't
He doesn't
work
want to take
40.
money from his
Weird.
customers.
Don't want to take money from the customers. Go
But
to
they
Hawaiian
play
and beat them up.
commerce too.
It's probably a good idea not to play against your customers.
It's a great idea.
That's right.
They already beat him up enough, as it is.
Oh, you want to continue to get tips.
Check.
Last one was like kind of tournament. It's a dealer plan. They want to make a deal. Like
4 players.
28 players get paid.
The dealer thing?
Yeah. The play, it was final tournament. Mayor versus another first player. And whoever won the tournament, whoever came
3
to the money,
players.
they didn't leave any tip for dealer. Even the guy who won the first place, he didn't leave money for it.
Wow.
Because what the dealer did. He won everything for it.
That's when they're going to have to go hand by hand.
Everybody says, wait a minute, the guy works here, he's a dealer, he's playing a tournament. He objects for 27 plays, 28 plays.
Ooh, fleshy. 7 high.
You would have called if I bet anyway.
I don't think so. I said
Not one card.
I think I can throw plays too much. So sorry, I'm not letting you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Everybody here, this is,
You see what you're talking about? I don't want to be that guy.
It's okay to be there, but
Anything in the
don't
weeds.
object.
Anytime, especially where you work, anytime something goes wrong, you're going to get the short end of it, guaranteed. So, if I'm going to play, I'm going to go to Hawaiian or Commerce or somewhere and just not worry about messing with the customers and my dealers and everything. No, there's a way of saying that, but I'm not going to do it because Cammy and you let's hear it.
Oops, daisy.
25.
5. Yeah, I can't leave this. This is, now the pot's got big. Things have gotten interesting now.
4 players. $55, he said.
I can beat that.
7 of
I
diamonds.
think your bluff power just went away. There's another one.
One extra, yeah.
Okay, we're heads up, no limit. Tiny guy. One stack of yellow chips.
Hunted.
Cigarettes.
Okay, we're going up to 200 here.
Oh, we got the beeper here.
What's going on here? There was something wrong. Something wrong.
funny.
Check point. $300. You can just stop right there, give me a verbal, and we're good.
Nothing.
Pair of deuces? What are you talking about, nothing?
Nice hand.
No hand, no hand.
Hey, you know what? You'll see it tomorrow. What's up, mate?
Sir, thank you. Just step away. Thank you.
Nice.
Hey, man, thank you very much.
No hand, no hand.
I have nothing. Got a pair of deuces and $500. That's what we got. Is he in?
We're all breathing heavy for him.
I can't believe he didn't go all in on the river edge. Only 300. It worked out perfect.
$20.
Oh my God, you're getting
I thought you had ace 10.
Me? I call him. There, I call him.
3 players.
I had an ace.
It was a good river bet. I probably called too. Somebody flopped straight or something.
50.
I
$50.
think that's what he wanted you to think.
Hey, deuce.
He showed it, yeah.
Hey, deuce. Ocho deuce.
8 kickers.
Heads up.
Kickers playing the board.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the deuces were good. If the deuces weren't good, he would have called you.
55.
Little advertising there. Alright, Nick, it's your turn to go in there and talk all that shit about me.
Not yet. I don't touch it.
Bless you.
You played one hand for a runner flush?
Yep.
How do you ever get to runner flushes?
Thanks, sir.
I gave myself a chance.
I know I had ace jack.
I wish I had the
wasn't even
ace.
gonna call.
I wish I had the ace of diamonds. Like that would make me more confident. The queen of diamonds, like, good enough to call, but good enough to raise.
Good enough to raise it.
It's mine.
No. Dead blind.
Taking my $5.
He was going to tip him with it. Yeah, when you only play pot once every 6 hours, you got to try to get exactly how many chips you can get.
20?
I wish I could get bad at it instead of what I'm doing.
Okay, gentlemen, heads up.
I would have called if I didn't have diamonds.
Check the flop.
I checked the turn. I had flush on the turn. Ace high the flop.
30?
Hey, is that all you got yourself?
Just the two of you.
All that money you got in Germany? Last one?
Yeah, that's how I bought myself some $8 glasses. Keep the rest of the piggy bank. Actually, I only paid like $1,000, man. Down 2, I gotta pay my car.
Half of that would be mine. You would have still been down.
Would have made $300 for the night.
Big blind, sir.
No. Uh-oh.
You don't chop?
No, he doesn't chop.
I'm sorry.
He doesn't chop. There goes $4.
Don't think of it that way.
I'm sorry, it's just so hard not to.
No, it's not.
I'm sure we had 2 pairs. That's why he probably called to see if you got a full house. On the turn.
Thank you, sir.
With that big a pot already, I'd call her.
Like me,
I get a full house.
I had an ace. So I probably would have gone all in with a flop and gone.
I should have done it on the.
Only $110.
I made some.
You're about small blind, sir.
20?
I see what you're saying. Easy target.
Oh, you know.
Easy target.
I'm just gonna make it 20 because we
I know what you guys are thinking, you know. Hungry wolves.
He's been setting us all up for the last 3 hours.
Okay, Nicole.
30.
$30.
Nice hand.
No hand.
No hand.
I should have straddled on the last one.
There you go. That was a nice
What, that
one.
one counts?
Got a live straddle now.
5?
Now, wasn't that raised
With a king kicker.
Sorry?
the 18 that he had? I don't know if you were here for that.
I did it.
Oh,
yeah.
you were there.
That was me.
I didn't
Was that
care
raised
because I
before
had.
Right here.
It was raised before the flop, wasn't
It was better than this kid.
Yeah, it's fake. He's had it in his mouth for like 5 hours.
Finger.
To 50.
But sometimes you want.
There's your razor.
No,
right
it's
there.
nothing. It's just
It's like sugar or
Powder.
something, or yeah.
he refills it at night.
You want one from me?
it? Really impressive.
You want one of those?
Crack powder.
Yeah.
Thank you, Les.
Really? Good for you. Wow.
You're lucky you're here to talk about
You
it.
probably just added about 20 years to your life.
Big blind, sir.
How many cigarettes on the pack? 1?
I think there's, is there more than 20 cigarettes in a pack?
You know how much money
Not a lot,
you
that's
spend?
not. How many cigarettes in a
5
pack?
bucks a day?
Oh, 20.
100 fucking cigarettes.
And a pack of cigarettes costs what,
35.
5 something? And 25 bucks a day? Wow. What'd you do with all the money you spent on cigarettes?
Just you.
What porno do you use?
He's now
He invested in a porn.
No.
He's got the kingdom of
Are you
porn
leaving
collection.
too? You can't leave too. I'm leaving too.
Thanks, sir.
Oh, you're leaving too?
Yeah. Well, I can play one more round.
Yeah, we don't close tonight.
You could benefit.
Wait, can we keep leaving and just have Shirley go back in there and commentate?
Can Shirley come out and
Shirley's
play?
done, is it?
Can surely come out.
Well, we can't be short-handed. I've never seen this game short-handed. I always...
We're going to make it dead at the bike here in a second. How can they possibly always
One more? Or do you know you're already in?
I'm already in.
I have to go do live. I've commentated.
Oh, great. Just 50.
I'm very nice.
Who's the mean one?
Mark.
Is that why you always beat me? Because you watch my hands at 9 and 9?
20.
I've only seen you on there once, and I didn't even really watch what you were doing.
You watch me call sevens all the way down to the river and then grab the pot.
Be nice. Who's the mean one then?
You don't. When you're in there, you don't really pay attention. There's no one mean, really. Is there? No one's really.
Only the second shift, which is off, Terry.
Well, you said you're the nice one. I assume.
Terry talks shit.
Terry talks a lot of shit.
I don't know. I didn't get to meet Bart.
He said I
Terry,
did the dumbest thing in
Shirley.
poker history.
Did you meet him? You can.
I met. Well, they came out. What I really want to do is go to the commentator booth. You know where it all happens.
there with her. She'll take you in there.
It's nothing exciting. It's one little room like this.
It's a little makeout booth.
It's about the size of a makeout booth.
Yeah, I tried to.
You see the
I
makeup
tried to
booth?
convince someone that it's in it's in the construction area. It's kind of like an
Oh,
isolated.
it is actually a construction area. I don't know if that's a liability for
Live
them.
travel.
It probably is a liability.
Hey, see that anymore.
Who is it? Toast?
See us?
Yeah, live travel.
2 more.
Yeah, one more after that because I'm leaving. Pretty soon, in 10 minutes, I have to go live at the break.
4 players.
10 minutes. Welcome to the table.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
40.
Should have raised. 300.
Do you know what I had? 9-7. Sick. In my small blind, and I didn't call the $5 extra for the.
Like Matt. Matt didn't call the $5
Oh,
extra.
puke.
It wasn't even $5. Somebody raised it. Wasn't a straddle. And he flopped 9 deuce. He had 9 deuce.
You need signals from somebody?
He's going, did you see that bluff?
You see that blow?
Did you see that bluff? Oh, yeah. That was the best ever. You know what he folded? My God. How did you know he had
Is that okay? Do you need me right now?
Are you coming in, sir?
Yeah.
I'm just going to play a few more.
Let her puff on that cigarette a little bit.
That's what it sounds like I've been doing, huh?
Like a smoker tennis player.
I'm not a smoker.
Oh, we have 100. Should I buy more? Or should I just move it?
Okay. Because they say that my cards all retarded like this.
5
If they can't
players.
see him, they will say, we can't see his cards, because we have to post it, you know, so if they can't tell what it is. Then they'll tell him and he'll tell you, we can't see your cards.
25.
Alright.
That would have been a nice
I
spot
got
to
the
him.
message.
I
I
got
got
40,
the message.
and I would have raised, and he would have folded, and I would have made $50. More than $50.
I'm going to raise. How would you raise?
He bet 40. He would have bet into me.
You just.
Well, I would make more than $50 basically.
You would bet again.
Bye-bye to that.
You're leaving? That means we're only short 2. Fill up on the turn, huh?
Likes it.
Thank you, sir.
I would take the master.
Come on, that's on page 3, isn't it?
Page 3.
I haven't read
Jack 6, you check when the next jack comes.
Taking your blind?
Sorry, Nicole will tell you what it was.
Raphael, make a single. You're going to buy 50. Put the chips in front and then put the 50 out. You're going to put the whole stack on. Bring it back.
He said
You said 50.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. That's why you did it. I didn't hear you say 50 at the time. But, I said 50. Okay. Forget what I said.
Chop chop.
I need to triple up to break even.
Triple up. A monster.
Think that can happen?
Absolutely.
never know.
Go all in, 2 people call you.
Could be up $1,000 by the end of the night.
All in blind, like Andrew. A la Andrew. Speaking of, guess who's coming?
Andrew.
Ah, you both out.
I'm gonna get up in 2 minutes. You want the seat? Okay.
Yeah, just get up now. Switch it over there.
Shut up.
Big blind, sir?
I just played my blind. I didn't play.
He likes to walk off. So
Just a minute.
What's wrong?
Card
What's wrong?
1. See card number 2.
So I'm gonna be commentating. I always say nice
25.
things about you. Good. It'll be exciting for us.
All in.
Crazy Andrew. I know it already.
85.
Hiya. There you go.
All right, first pre-flop.
Hiya.
Right here.
Wasn't it? I didn't see any other pre-flop balls.
I got there.
You did?
Yeah, you don't have
I
cards,
did
huh?
get there.
You didn't?
I did get there.
Pocket jack.
Quads.
Quad.
Hiya.
That's how you play quads. You go all in, get quads, win the pot.
Sure, that's beat whatever he had.
There's the first double up.
$100 quad.
Yeah, he's fine.
All right, this is my last hand.
He just pushes them straight up.
Thank you very much.
Nice hand, nice hand.
Well, you said quads. What am I supposed to
That's
put up?
you.
The jack?
Deal him in, dealer.
Yeah, the 16 of the jack.
No, that's your. I can't ruin this
I
action
just
for
like
you.
quads, all in pre-flop.
I'm already looking. I
Off
look.
the set and river to quad.
He didn't have quads on the
Oh,
pre-flop.
thank
It
God.
was till the
He
river.
didn't use this hand.
We're still just a pair of pre-flop.
You gotta love those.
That's how you play quads, huh?
That's right. Make the least amount of money possible. There's always a 6 on the river at this table. Isn't there? So there's always a 6 at the river on this table. That's right.
Anybody moving seat?
All in black every time. Andrew. How'd you go in the tournament, Andrew?
Obviously not that good. He's more than 6 hands. Lost more than 6 hands.
Check.
That's a new record.
Yeah, I busted out first, I think.
Did you? I busted about a half hour in.
First or second, I did.
I'd rather bust out much earlier than later.
Yeah.
25.
Play for 5 hours.
Yeah, play 5 hours and you get nothing.
Cold.
Come on.
Like a cheese.
Oh my god.
What, you win again?
I wish I had ace 10. Damn.
All in line.
I would do it. I'm only in this game $300.
All in line.
So all I have to say is I'm going to have to triple up and I'll do it.
All in blind.
Come on.
This hand.
Come on. You gonna do it?
Are you in?
Yes, please. Am I posting?
Yes.
I haven't looked yet.
I haven't either. Well, I mean, I'm...
Good thing you didn't do it.
Huh? What? Well, how many players in there, man?
Not a lot.
Oh, look at
You
this.
trying to get
30.
king 3 out just in case?
Bye-bye.
You being aggressive now?
And we are back. My name is Bart Hansen, and I'm going to be joined shortly by Nicole Pepe. Looks like she won a little bit.
Well, we'll let the audience
We're
play.
doing a $300 to $500 no limit game, 5-5
Make sure you
blinds.
let us know what the audience says.
And it looks like Raphael's got pocket aces in seat 4.
Andrew never looks.
Oh, man.
You've got all of
Wow.
I've got all of that, man.
Top set. Raphael's flopped 3 aces. 9, 6, ace, 2 clubs. And it gets checked around. He doesn't bet his set of aces. And a 2 comes on the turn, so he hasn't put any money in yet. And now Andrew, with 6-10, he's going to bet. So slow playing the aces actually looks like it worked this time for Raphael.
Look, huh?
I call.
Wow, and he's raised it to 100. Seat 9 bet 100 with 6-10. And Raphael raised it to 100, and 6-10 called. And 6-10 looks to be drawing totally dead. King comes on the river.
200?
And now Raphael gets checked to, and he's going to bet $200.
Hell, call.
Oh! And he says he called.
Oh, that's going to be tough to beat.
Aces?
You have clubs.
Really?
Yeah, if you got the clubs, you win.
Oh, shit.
I don't know if he check raised all in here or if he just called. He pushed his tray in.
Nice hand.
You're insane.
How much?
No, he just called. That is unbelievable. Look at that.
Until he cracks you. Once
Look
he
at that
cracks you,
hand
it's
as
not
we
so insane.
come back from tabletop.
290?
Wow.
I didn't think he had anything.
1, 2, 3, 4. He's got
I didn't put him on
third pair, and then fourth pair on the river with 6-10. Raphael slow played a set of aces on the flop, and he takes down a great pot.
That sucks. First hand.
Yeah, first
Well,
hand.
Pocket ace.
that's one for the archives.
Thank you very much, man.
Everything.
I thought you just called on the river.
No, he went all in.
Oh, you raised all in.
No, he bet 200.
Yeah, I thought you just called.
And Henry has moved over to seat 3. Roulette appears to have left the game. We've got Kobe in seat 8 and Andrew there in seat 9. Hello, Nicole. Welcome to the booth.
Hello, Bart.
Looks like you made a little bit of a profit tonight. Is that right?
Not so much,
No?
really. No, I ended up pretty much right back where I started.
Now, this guy, you missed what happened before. This guy pretty much moved all in with a bottom pair. And Raphael there in seat 4 had a set of aces.
Okay.
And he's playing a little wild. Now he's raised it with 4-5 offsuit from seat 9.
3 times.
Andrew is, for those that don't know him, a crazy man who likes to go all in blind numerous times in a row. He's a blackjack player and feels that if he continually bets all in blind, eventually he's going to make back his money and then
Think
some.
about it. You guys are trying to.
Well, that's good information. So we've got quite the action player.
That's a nice point.
So he's raised to 70, it looks like, with 4-5 offsuit, and Henry in seat 3 looks like he's called.
And I
well,
wanna-
he's moved all in with, for 70, and Henry's called.
And I want to say Andrew probably hasn't even looked at his cards yet.
And now Kobe is called with pocket 3s.
Good luck, all in.
So we've got pocket 3s, pocket deuces, and 4-5. It's about a $220 pot.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. He's only.
The 3s and the deuces still have money left behind them. 10-8 jack. Rainbow board. Check by the deuces, Henry in seat 3.
Andrew doesn't realize he actually has 2 overcards. It's pretty interesting.
Kobe checks.
What is that?
And now when 9 comes on the turn, it goes check, check again. And the river's a queen, and everyone's going to play the board. Everybody's going to play the board. It's going to get chopped up. That is unbelievable.
5.
See, he doesn't know his hand. He's looking at it now.
He moved all in blind. You're right. Wow.
You almost had the best hand. You had 2 overs.
God.
Yes, we're in for a great amount of fun in the next 2 hours with Andrew as our seat 9.
Oh my God. Deuces and 3s, and I got 2 overcards. Unbelievable.
Yeah, when you look at it, the money in that pot, 4-5 is not in bad shape. And you've got all ins there. Unbelievable.
Taylor, what are you doing to me?
Toying with you.
First hand. Give me ace. Give me against aces.
Thank you, sir.
The river killed me there, dude.
I would have bet.
The river killed.
My 3s would have held up there.
I would have bet when I had the straight. I would have bet when I had the straight and chopped it with you.
Give you 50% off right now.
So, Andrew, we're going to see a lot of action here. Nice to add some flavor to the table.
Yes, Andrew knows that he actually is responsible for making my month thus far of July because he gave me $3,200 last week.
I know.
How much did he make you?
He gave me $3,200 in about a 45-minute period.
Oh, that's nice.
I called him 3 times when he was all in blind.
Now look at Dan. He's pulled a limp here with Ace King, and if Andrew raises blind, now I'm sure that Dan, this is his plan. Dan is probably going to re-raise here big with the Ace King.
And at this point, he'll
And
probably go all
that's
in.
exactly, well, he's re-raised to 200. He has a lot of chips behind him. And that's exactly what he's done. So he knew that Andrew was going to move in blind, so he's limped in with the big hand, and now he's re-raised. And he's isolated Andrew.
Uh-oh. He's got good cards.
And Andrew is actually in big trouble here. He pretty much needs to catch a deuce.
Exactly.
He's got a couple of diamonds in his hand.
The four come out, you're gone.
Oh,
got it.
deuce. 7-4 deuce, 2 hearts. So Andrew is now taking a lead.
He doesn't know it yet, but he is in the lead.
Jack comes on the turn.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And trip
He
deuces.
wins it. He's going to find out right now.
He doesn't even know.
No?
Come on. Don't give me good cards. Don't give me good cards.
It's like he's playing blackjack. That is just unbelievable. And Dan probably can't be too pleased there in seat 1.
No. Yeah, the problem with someone going all in blind is that if you are losing to them, you really are not happy.
Isn't that disgusting?
Now, when you're taking their money, it's wonderful.
So, got a new player in seat 2. He wants to go by the name of Cicero Kid.
Yeah, that would
have been
Cicero
Cicero
Kid.
Kid in seat 2. And you wonder if he got to see that fact that Andrew just moved in.
Somebody
So we've got a
should
guy
let
who's
him
moving
know.
in. This is a first on the show. A guy that moves in blind without looking at his cards. Is he going to do it again?
Yep, he will, I'm sure. No,
No, he's checked. I wonder if he's looked at it this time. He actually has 8-9. So King 7 Jack, 2 spades. Kobe there in seat 8. He's flopped top 2 pairs, the King Jack.
Andrew bets out $5 without looking,
25.
and he calls without looking.
Raphael calls in between with a gut shot. Kobe bets, and now Raphael folds. So it's heads up 8-9 against King Jack. 8-9's drawing pretty slim here. Could catch a 10, though, for a gut shot.
Oh, my God.
Turn is an ace.
You going to bet? You're going to bet anything unknown hand.
Now the pot's
And now
about...
Andrew's going to check it out.
The pot's about $120. It's 55 to call. All he has is a gut shot. He can catch a 10 to win. And if he's a gambler, why not?
Wow. Well, I have a gut shot,
Yes, you do.
but I need a perfect card.
Well, that's usually what you need when you have a gut shot.
He's
Well
going to lay
played.
it down.
Thank you.
Well played.
Why'd you cheat with me, though? Hey, you should just call when all in.
And the rabbit cam shows a queen. He would not have got there.
Nope.
What kind of a gut shot is that?
That's like a 2 card. Exactly. I have a big gut.
We gotta love it when you have a guy like this sit down at the table, I gotta
I
say.
have a big gut. You know, hey, think about it this way. If it was a
Yeah,
gut
if nothing
shot,
else, he definitely loosed up the action. And the thing with Andrew is that he'll do this at a $500 table. He'll come in and sit down and $500 put all in blind.
Coming, and I need 2 cards. I decided to fold it. You know,
How did you determine that?
that was well, the dealer kind of gave me a hint. He said there's only 1 card left.
Pocket queens here for Dan in the small blind. I bet he hopes that Andrew moves all in. There's a live straddle in seat 3. And Andrew in seat 9 actually has ace-10 offsuit on the button. But Eric is going to bet 30. Andrew's going to call, and I'm sure Dan's going to put in a sizable re-raise here out of seat 1. He's got queens. As seat 2 folds out a turn.
We're going to go up to 80 here, guys.
80.
And Dan makes it 80 straight to go. And Eric's brought the hand in with 5-9 offsuit. Wow. Henry's looking at pocket deuces. He has nowhere near the amount of money to call with pocket deuces in front of him. But he's going to make the call.
He seems to me like he would make that call.
He made it 80. So
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable. Now action's back to the original Razor with 5-9 offsuit. Seat 7, Eric.
At that point, Henry should have just went all in, I would guess. If you're really going to call that with deuces.
Yeah, absolutely. If you think you're ahead. Although, and look at this. Eric's going to call with 5-9 offsuit.
I think he's trying to set them up for another bluff here.
And now what is Andrew going to do? He has the opportunity to move back all in if he wants.
I have to call 80?
No, you're already in for 30. You're on.
That's
Yeah.
right. All right, so I don't have much left, so it's
So,
105.
and he is going to push.
And he actually has a pretty good hand.
Well,
Good enough for blind.
The one doesn't play?
no, the action should not be raised back up. I don't think Dan should be able to go back all over the top all in, but
Dan's all in, re-raise.
This is one of those decks that has 6 aces.
but I guess Greg is going to let it happen.
How much is this race?
Yeah, here we go. Greg is stopping it.
And he makes 55? You can't race.
Yeah, Hamik's going to tell him.
Hamik, wait a minute. Hamik, wait. I got your cards right here. There's no problem there. The raise originally was $50. He raised it $55.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
So the raise was $50, and he raised it $55. So that's why it can be allowed. Dan can go back all in. Well, this is
No problem, Hamik.
Good luck, all in.
so now Dan's gone all in, and I'm going to try to figure out the.
If he has ace,
I'm going to try to figure out the pot size now.
but I'm drawing off the
Henry is called. It looks like we're about $130 three ways, so the pot's about $400. And Eric has now folded. And look at this, Henry flops bottom set. He's got a set of deuces.
Gosh.
Set of deuces. The turn is a 4.
Henry fills up.
And the river is a 9.
Henry will take it down.
And Henry takes it all with a set of deuces. About $400 pot. This is some of the craziest action we've ever seen at Live at the Bike. And again, I was trying to do that math in my head, so we'll see how much Henry has left over here. But there's some chips.
That's true. Deuces are pretty bad.
And Andrew looks like he's going to rebuy.
I need some
Oh, yeah.
funding here.
I need a menu.
Now that I've juiced you guys up a little bit, you guys are ready to play now?
I'm now hungry.
Wow.
Okay.
That is just crazy. Absolutely crazy. And actually, that pot was more than that because
Enjoyment.
I think that might have been more like a $600 pot. We'll get a shot of seat 3s.
Looks like he has about 500
Yeah.
of them right now.
His chips.
I need
Yeah,
service
you're
on no
right.
limit
It was more like
4.
$500 pot. A lot of unorthodox action there. Wow. So he's got about 550 in front of him. Unbelievable.
No, he's got 300 coming. I got
And Andrew's playing 300
He's
behind.
the one that's gonna fold. keep my game moving, you know?
What the?
And
Dan's going to raise it up.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
You haven't yet.
That's an unpredictable option against me.
Well, it looked like Andrew raised. Dan called with an ace-5, possibly steaming on the button. And Henry's in there with pocket 9s. Ace-10-4. Three flush out there. Dan has the best hand. No one has a diamond in their hand. The pot's about $100 right now. Or it's about $120.
Why would they check? I don't know. Checking is a
And Andrew's got second pair. Let's see what Dan does here with ace with the weak kicker.
$60.
I think Dan's had enough of Andrew. I have a feeling he's going to call this or go all in.
He doesn't have a diamond redraw, and he's going to push it all in. And I'm sure Henry's going to leave here out of C3 with pocket 9s. So now the pot is going to be about $300 to $350. And he raises all in. Andrew laid it down. Well, Andrew laid it down. He laid the second pair down. A little bit surprised there. He didn't have a diamond in his hand. And Dan takes it down. And we see the donkey avatar on 2+2. Of course, you can go to 2plus2.com, spelled out. Click on forums. Click on Tournament Poker, World Poker Tour, and other televised tournaments. You can follow along to the thread that it started there every night.
You're supposed to be intimidated.
You checked it too. The flush got on board.
I know. I know the flush got there.
And someone says on 2+2, good Lord, is this the bastard son of Steve and Francisco? Oh, that's Russ McGinley, of course. Those were a couple other action players that
I don't check later on flop,
have been on the show before.
And yes, that is a Garland from 2+2 fame, sitting in seat 5.
I can't fold. I can't fold. I can't fold 10 high. That's impossible.
Well,
Is this worth $2?
I was going to say, I would never see Dan make,
You do. You do. Oh.
first of all, call a raise with ace-5 offsuit, and you'd be hesitant to see him move all in with a 3-diamond board, even when he did have an ace.
Well, I think that's Andrew's whole plan, to get people playing the exact opposite way they normally would.
Now, Garland's got pocket 9s, and Kobe in C8 has pocket 6s. The flop is deuce, 3, queen, 2 spades.
Henry has queen, deuce, 2 pairs.
Up and down. And Ken's going to bet into the flush draw from seat 6.
I do.
Andrew's going to call with a deuce. And let's see what Henry does. Did Henry just call? It looked like he just called. He didn't check raise, playing it slow.
Which is kind of scary. I don't
And
know if I
there's
would
the spade on the turn.
Exactly why I would not have just called that.
Ken's made a flush in seat 6. Pot's about $90. And it gets checked around. What is going on here, Nicole? Ken didn't put any money in with the flush on the turn, and now he's going to put money in
I think he might have been hoping for Andrew to make a play at that.
when the 10 comes on the river.
Okay, I semi-lied. Is that like a semi-bluff?
He's going to bet. Looks like he's betting about the size of the pot, $90.
Semi-lie.
And now
Now Henry's going to be in trouble
Henry's
here.
thinking, is my 2-pair good here? Check call with 2-pair, and now he's going to call. He's going to call a river bet, and Ken's going to pick up a nice sized pot.
Good job, Kenny.
He's going to pick up about a $270 pot.
Where am I supposed to bet it?
That is I don't care if you think you have a player behind you that you think's going to bet. Look, you just didn't bet. You let off a very dangerous free card there. When a spade comes on the river, you lose all your action, or you end up losing the pot.
I think you have 800 to get even.
And we've seen some pretty crazy stuff since you've left the table.
Yeah, everything was pretty docile when I was there.
All you have to say is I have 3 aces. Hold your money for next time.
Jeez. That's just terrible.
You just rude to take money from Henry.
Oh, wait. I mean, what? I ran into the hand. What the hell? I got lucky catch.
So I was saying earlier before you got in the booth, what is Raphael doing? He had hit top set of aces and wasn't betting, but he was just letting Andrew do all the betting because Andrew was going to eventually put himself all in the first hand when he came back from tabletop. So
Okay.
you've got someone that's just going to bet into you. Ooh, now Dan's got pocket aces, and he can't be happy with the fact that Andrew folded to his immediate right. He's going to make it 25 to go in seat 1. And he doesn't get any action, and he can't be pleased. And he mucks.
Got a feel for Dan, who's had some great hands tonight, but unfortunately they just have been bluffed out or actioned out by
I believe
crazy seat 9.
I believe we have a new player. Scott has come into seat 7 in the flannel shirt.
Welcome, Scott.
And again, I hope he knows the information we do about some of the players on the table.
You gonna show me?
No, I didn't. I left him. No, my book.
You settle down.
I have 2 cards. I'm looking. I'm cheating. But he's raising now.
See, if you look, you can't play this thing.
Cicero Kid, this is the first we've seen of him. He's going to make it, looks like,
25.
25 to go with ace queen. Henry's going to cold call to his left with king queen. And we're going to be heads up. 2-way action. I believe it was a $35 raise, so we're looking at a $70 pot. King queen against ace queen. Seat 2 against seat 3. And it goes check check on the flop. It turns a jack, giving king queen an open-ended straight draw. And look at this, Henry doesn't bet on it. He checks again behind him, and a 10 comes on the river, and ace queen is going to take it down, and now he bets. Now he bets. Cicero Kid's going to bet with the ace queen with no pair. And I can't imagine Henry can call here, but again, kind of a dangerous way to play the hand. I mean, I guess there's 2 moves there for Henry. You could raise. Definitely you couldn't call.
Mm-hmm.
You could raise, though.
Good point.
Yep, you could raise, or you could fold. Henry chose to
And
fold.
he chose option number 2.
Yep. Henry looked like he had about 350 in front of him. And Cicero Kid from Chicago has about 500 in front of him. I don't make this stuff up. That's what he wants to be called.
Cicero Kid from Chicago.
Same flop, dealer. Same flop.
Andrew has quieted down a little bit.
Look at this, man.
Not all in
I'm
blind.
getting the premium cards. No way. I'm getting premium cards. I can't play premium cards.
Only if it's under, if it doesn't have 70 or raise.
There we go.
And now seat 2, he's going to raise again. He's going to make it 30. He's got a suited connector. It looks like 7-8 of diamonds.
You lost that 5-4 hand.
We've got pocket kings in seat 5.
And that's Garland. And he's definitely the tightest player on the entire table.
And if anyone's paying attention and they see him come into the pot, they know he's got something good.
He's re-raised it to $50 more.
2 separate pairs, 2 under pairs.
So it's a $30 raise, and it's 80 total, so 50 more for the C kid from Chicago to call on seat 2. And I don't think this is the type of hand that you want to take heads up, Nicole, the suited connector.
You know what? Maybe today's not my day.
He's out of position. But let's see if he's got some gamble in him.
What day is?
And he looks like he does.
He does. So hopefully Garland is not going to go the way of George 2+2 fame with his pocket kings, as we always see people who are familiar to the show. Oh, wow, set of kings. Now Cicero Kid, he's got a gut shot to the 9 here. And let's see how Garland plays it.
Exactly.
He's not slow playing his top set.
No, he is not. Doesn't want anybody with a queen in there, anybody with any kind of gut shots in there, and this should be enough to get
And it does.
Cicero kid out.
And seat 2 folds.
Hey, you're drawing us 3 outs.
And Garland takes it down. Well, if you just, if you want to play really, really tight in this game, now that you got a lot of wild players, well, now you can play more tight, solid, don't make moves, because you can just wait for a hand. And,
Exactly.
I get 3s and 2s.
Oh, okay. I'm going to look at my 5-4 here. It's going to win finally. Oh, man.
3 players.
and we're going to see 3-way action here.
Got
Limped around. 3, 3, 3. And look at that. Scott in seat 7 has the best hand with Jack 7.
most likely he's not aware of it.
It's actually 2, 3, 3. Excuse me. But regardless, he still has the best hand. And now he's picked up a flush draw.
Henry has picked up a 10 on the turn.
Yep. So Henry now has the best hand. And there's the flush. Scott's made it on the river.
He checks it and then says, I have a flush.
Why
but
would
he
he?
did not
Why
bet.
would he check it?
Perhaps he was hoping for a check raise, but very bad move.
Well, a check raise, but yeah, you're right. He was in first position. That's
All right. Dealer, I think it's time for my pot.
that's just amazing. Absolutely amazing.
This is my hand.
I mean, now what I'm saying about that is, why would you call the turn on a flush draw if you're going to make it on the river and not bet it?
Exactly.
I go home. So
Again, we are here live at the bike from Los Angeles, California. We're doing a 300-500 restricted buy-in, no limit game. 5 blinds. Yellow chips are $5 chips. The stacks are usually stacked in $100 denominations, which means Raphael has got about, say, $1,300 in front of him. And we were looking kind of at a tight table the first 2 hours, but it's turned into a very wild table.
In seat 1, we have pocket 10. Looks to be about the best hand thus far.
Yep, and Dan has actually limped in with the 10s, probably trying to do a limp re-raise again, I would imagine, against this field. And he's flopped top set, 8, 9, 10, 2 clubs.
However, Andrew's picked up a club draw.
Yep.
This is exactly who Dan wants to go heads up with.
Andrew's picked up a club draw and second pair.
And Dan is just calling.
Wow, Dan just calls. That's really, really surprising with people behind him. I'm very surprised that he's doing that. Henry's going to call with 5-8, and Kobe's in there with second pair. I'm very surprised that Dan did not raise there. So we're looking at a $140 pot, and now the turn's a jack.
Kobe picks up the
And that's going to give a 1-card straight to anyone with a 7 or a queen in their hand. And it goes check, check on the turn, and the river's a 4 of hearts. And now Kobe's going to come out and bet.
Dan really lost himself a lot of money here.
55.
Well, how can Kobe not bet the straight there with people drawing for clubs? He's going to bet 55 here at the end, and now Dan's got to figure, well, Pete, they checked around on the turn. Anyone with a 7 or a queen has me. Pot's about $270, 55 for me to call, and he's going to make the call, and he's going to lose.
Very unfortunate.
Wow. And he shows the queen, and Dan mucks. Kobe picks up a big pot. Again, I mean, you talk about not wanting to slow play top set. How much more of a coordinated board could you have with 4 people left to act behind you?
Yeah, I think really...
if Dan had re-raced big there, he would have got Kobe out of the hand
Exactly.
for sure.
I think Andrew has Dan on tilt.
On
I think
tilt, yeah.
he was hoping for some action from Andrew that he didn't get.
Small blind.
Raphael's going to come in here. 7, 9 of clubs.
You're holding that?
Sorry.
Oh, my God. All right, I'm going for the low.
And Garland, I can see what he had. He mucks Queen 9 of hearts, which a lot of people would not do from that position. But he's playing very tight.
Very tight.
The low. Okay, the low.
So it's limped around. 5 king deuce. Dan has picked up second pair with an ace, and he's going to bet out on it.
Gutter.
15 for a $15 pot.
And Andrew's got bottom pair here, so let's see what's going to happen. If he's a gambler,
He's going to call.
he's going to make the call. Ace-5 against Deuce-3 here to the turn. The turn's a deuce. Unbelievable. Andrew's made trip deuces,
Oh,
and he's checked it, and Dan's bet $15. And let's see what Andrew does. Andrew's going to just check call here. And boy, this would be a big mistake if he doesn't put money in here. He's filled up on the river.
Let's see if I can bluff you out of this pot now.
And now he's going to bet. And now he's going to bet. He's going to bet, it looks like about 30. And Dan's going to call, and Andrew's going to take it down with a full house. This is unbelievable action here. Wow.
I told you.
Now you're happy you're not playing.
I mean, the straight up river with ace-4.
Oh, you
Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. That pot was about,
I cannot believe you did that.
well, you get $60 on those two streets, and then another 60. Well, you know, maybe $100 to $150. Not a big hit for Dan, but still, he can't be feeling too good. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets up at some time.
Since Dan had about 700 more chips than that when I was sitting down.
Yeah. Looking at back at the chip count, he had $850 at the top of this hour at 8 o'clock. So
maybe he had about 500 more about a half hour ago.
Supposed to be for me. In my perfect vision.
we've got a straddler here in seat 3. Garland in seat 5 is going to bring it in with ace king of diamonds.
Andrew picks up pocket sixes. Pocket jacks in seat 1.
And look at this, Dan's got pocket jacks. So if Andrew raises,
We're
you
in trouble.
got to think Dan's going to re-raise. Andrew's got pocket nines, Garland's got ace king, and Dan's got jacks. Let's see what Andrew does here.
All right. Since I have bad cards, I will call. Was it 35?
35.
And Dan's just going to call. Well, got to give the respect to Garland. He hasn't played a lot of hands. Cicero Kid's in there with king queen suited, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 ways times 35. About $140 pot, with Garland being the original raiser in seat 5. The flop is an 8-10 deuce. Cicero Kid's fifth at the flush draw with overcards, but Dan is good with jacks right now. Dan checks the jacks, and seat 2 moves. He bets $100 with his flush card and over his flush draw and overcards. Garland quickly mucks. And now I bet you Dan must have been wishing, why didn't I re-raise here pre-flop?
I was feeling he's going to go all in at this point, don't you think?
No.
Let's see. He's got the overpair, and he is. He's going to go all in. Now, the thing about this is that Cicero Kid is actually a slight favorite here with 2 cards to come, with the flush draw and 2 overcards. And there's the overcard, and that's Dan's going to have to hit a non-spaded jack, and it doesn't come. And seat 2 takes it down. Wow. Unbelievable action here at Live at the Bike. If you want to watch this show and all the saved shows that we've ever done on the webcast for the last 5 months, you can sign up for the archives by clicking on your on-demand banner in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. $14.95 gets you all the archived action, plus an instructional DVD from Howard Lederer. And mark this one down, the last hour and a half for the ages. It's July, 14th? 13th?
Yes, it is.
14th. 3 to 500 game, a game that we do not often spread here.
Exactly.
And it actually is my favorite game in the house.
Oh, me too.
When I come, it's what I like to push. Open. 3 to 5.
I made her run.
He pays her a lot.
Now, Dan is rebought here. We don't know
That sounded bad.
for how much.
You need to take that back.
I take that back.
You take that back. They're going to say mean things about you now.
Sorry, Nicole. They can hear us, too.
Cutoff is going to raise here out of seat 8. He's got King Jack. That's Colby. We haven't heard a lot from him. And look at this guy. He's an action player, too. Dan calls with pocket 3s from the button, but Cicero Key, he's going to re-raise with 5-7 of hearts. He's going to make it 60 to go.
And he takes it down.
And Dan calls.
Oh, he called. Really?
And Dan's playing 500 behind. The flop is a deuce 6-4. Cicero Kid's picked up an open-ended straight draw. And he's going to bet.
And Dan's going to call.
No, Dan owes this amount of money, I believe, from the previous amount.
King, queen of spades.
But he does call. And the turn's a 5. That's going to give a straight for Dan. 3 spades to the board. 5-7 checks.
Peter, we have a jackpot active in this table, right?
And Dan's going to move all in. And Cicero Kid, he's got a pair and an open-ended straight draw, but there's a flush out there.
Yeah, which is probably what's going to kill Dan's action here.
Well, Dan, he had pocket threes, so he had the open-ended straight draw. Excuse me, he had a gut shot on the flop with a pair. A little bit surprised to see him call so quickly, though. And seat 2 mucks. Dan quickly mucks his hand. Rabbit Cam shows a queen of hearts would have come. And what a bunch of action here at the 300-500 table at the bike.
You have to pay $15 a seat.
BS, right? $15. You do? Is it worth it?
All they do is listen to you and hear you.
Does that help you?
When do you have 4 hours to go home and watch it?
I can tell what's going
I
on.
watch here and there.
I guess you watch you when you get home.
Yeah.
It's
actually a couple days.
If they don't start putting some sort of an incentive for us to play this game, nobody's going to play it. Eventually.
People's vanity. That's the incentive. They want to be recorded for all posterity and broadcast through the universe. That's what it is.
$20 raise here out of seat 7. He's got an ace-9 off suit.
You do. 20 is his magic number.
And Garland looked to have limped with pocket jacks. Let's see if he throws a re-raise in here in seat 5. Looks like he just limped in with jacks.
For his cards like he was going to fold and then...
And that's got to be what his intention was. Unless he wants... Yeah, and he's going to re-raise here, Nicole.
Nice job, Garland.
Yeah.
Good play.
And he's going to move, it looks like, a lot in here. He's going to make it 150 more to go.
We say he's ultra conservative and we tease him, but he's made very good plays.
Well, Andrew, if the action's on him in seat 9, he's got deuce 9 off suit. Chad Brown's favorite hand. So we'll see.
That provides me some information.
He's going to muck.
Help me decide.
And Cicero Kid is going to call with an ace-5 suited. We can see that one of the aces is dead from Scott in seat 7. So now the pot is about $400. It's a $400 pot. And we're going to see a flop. Ace-5 against pocket jacks. That's a pretty good flop for pocket jacks. 6, deuce, 10. And he moves all in, and Cicero Kid quickly folds.
Nice job, Garland.
And Garland's got to feel good about that. He pulled the limp re-raise with jacks. He got somebody to call a $150 re-raise with ace-5.
I had 9 deuce. You did? I had 9 deuce.
Is that 2 pairs?
No. It was deuces.
Good hand. That'd be a good hand.
Would it beat my 9 deuce?
Just barely. Maybe a 9, maybe a deuce.
I was going to double down on my 9 deuce.
And we could see actually from the rabbit cam that the turn and the river were actually both 7s. So obviously
So Garland was good the whole way.
Cicero Kid was drawing pretty slim when one of the aces was already dead. And Garland, he had 600 at 6 o'clock. He had 600 at 8 o'clock. But in this last hour, he's made probably at least another 500.
Second buy-in back. And then I can start going crazy again. A double up there was going to be...
Looks like we got 4-way action here. It's been limped around. 7,
wow,
4, 6.
3-5. Garland hits a straight.
He's made a straight. It's not quite the nut straight. Now, Raphael has bet on top pair right away. He's bet 30 with 7-10. Garland was telling Shirley before the show he does not like to slow play, and he's going to raise.
Yeah, and I like that play. You don't want to slow play with 2 diamonds out there or a higher straight.
Looks like he made it about 50 more to go. Raphael wisely mucks the 7. And actually, Garland raised it to 100 more, it looked like.
Now he shows one for...
35, the other one.
And he shows the straight.
Garland's
on
on
roll.
a rush.
I can't help what I get. I just play it.
Peter, I want to see change to number 6.
I'll give it to you.
Oh, that's true. Well, handicap I can't count. I'm sorry, I'm numerically challenged. So
Seat 7 picks up pocket aces. That's Scott. And Ken's got pocket deuces in the big blinds. And oh boy, Dan's got pocket jacks in seat 1. Dan's going to be in trouble. Pocket aces raise to 20. Andrew calls with a 5-3 suited. And Dan just calls. Dan's just going to call with his jacks. I thought he would raise.
Supposed to work out. Oops. Is that my tip?
So he just flat calls, and Garland's got 7s. So if somebody hits a set here, we could see a huge pot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-way action. It's a $120 pot. King, queen, 10. Dan's got an open-ended straight draw with his pocket jacks.
And Garland actually bets, seat 7 actually bets out Scott with his ace.
He's going to bet 75 with aces. I'm not a huge fan of that flop if I have aces against, 5 other people, but he's going to throw out a bet, throw a feeler bet out there. 75 into a $120 pot, so there's about a $200 pot now. 75 to call. Of course, there's 2 clubs out there.
Dan is probably considering if he should raise at this point. And
no, he's going to muck.
Wow.
Yeah.
Open-ended there. You wouldn't call for 75 on open-ended?
Well, you got to figure out how much the next street is going to cost you, too. Plus, there's 2 clubs on the board. So if someone's drawing for a flush, you don't even know if it's good if the ace of clubs or the 9 of clubs comes. And he shows his aces, and he's going to take it down.
Held up with all the callers I got.
I just thought that Dan was going to get in trouble because I thought he was going to really try to push with that.
Your ace comes, you're dead.
Yeah. Good way of looking at it.
He still had more outs because he had the 9s.
A lot of pocket pairs out there.
That's $5,000.
A lot.
I didn't have a pocket pair.
No one limp in and
I didn't have pocket pair.
He did.
Everyone had no clue what to do.
It would have been ugly.
Like I said, I needed babies.
If you went all in, I probably don't, actually.
$20 raise from the guy from Chicago in seat 2. He's got 3 5s suited.
Would have been great, right? Deuce, 6?
What's the raise?
3 6 suited.
Oh my gosh. You can't do like me, though. I actually.
So he's coming in with 6-3 of clubs. He's going to get called in 3 spots here. Ace 8-3. He's going to bet 40, the original raiser, and Scott in seat 7 is going to call with the flush draw. He's got the nut flush draw, king queen. Now he's picked up a gut shot too.
And he still comes out betting.
Well, Cicero Kid, he still has the best hand now with the pair of 3s. He's going to bet 40 again, but that's not going to be enough to bet Scott off that draw. And Scott calls, especially with the overcards. And look at this, Cicero Kid, he dodges everything and he hits trips. And he's going to bet. And Scott is going to muck. And C2 takes it down. 9 o'clock chip count brought to you by Joker Gaming. Briefly, seat number 1, Dan, who rebought. He looks to have about $650. Seat 2 has about 500. Seat 3's got about 275. Seat 4's got about 840. Garland in seat 5 coming in with 1,100. He's up 500 for the night. Seat 6 has got 375. Seat 7's got 300. Seat 8 has 400, and Andrew in seat 9's got 150, and he's probably down, 500 or 1,000 already for the night.
He is our action player, along with our seat 2 here.
Cicero Kid, he's going to come in for a $30 raise.
With pocket 3s.
It's a 10.
You've got a boat.
And I go, oh man, 10s over kings. He goes, no. Kings over 10. I go, oh my god. And I turn over the other card, it's another 10. The guy's
I got one.
Not happy.
Scott's going to call him a semi blind here with King Jack.
Definitely not happy.
Offsuit. Now, Garland mucked King Jack offsuit in position. So there's the difference right there.
Exactly. That's amateur.
Deuce 5-10. Scott's going to check. Cicero Kid's going to bet. And Scott mucks. Now, a case could be made for the fact that this guy's been raising a lot of pots. He's not playing good hands. But normally, you don't want to take King Jack offsuit for a pretty hefty pre-flop raise out of position.
That's right. Especially a blind no-look Jack 5.
You're blind.
Hey, they said I couldn't do the mug shot. I was going to do sideways.
Look at what they got him to do.
I know, he went like that. I was like, I couldn't do mug shot.
I did that on my own.
Limp and a limp.
You pasted it on there?
No. I mean, I made that pose on my own.
Looks like we're going to see a Family Boy pot here limped around.
You should draw some little.
Accident.
Draw some little.
No, you're scaring me. I might have folded.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 way.
Almost get you to fold.
Not much of anything here. Ace 5 suited and
About
6-7.
About a $30 pot. Deuce, Jack, 6, Rainbow.
Cicero Kid is in the lead with his Jack.
He's going to bet out on top pair. He's going to bet the size of the pot.
And he's going to take it
I
down.
have a pair draw.
So Cicero Kid's on a little rush.
And he's got the toothpick in his mouth. Again, it's a common theme tonight. It's the other side of his mouth. Oh, there we go. We can see a little bit of it. It kind of blends into seat 3's shirt there, Henry. There we go. Because, of course, Nicole, you were doing that too tonight.
I know, I always have a toothpick in my mouth. I'm so bad at that. What?
But we were saying that you were acting pretty girly.
Was
but
I really?
But Shirley said that that wasn't very girly of you to have a toothpick in your mouth.
I have a tooth fetish, just to let you all know, and I can't stand, because people never tell you when you have something in your teeth. They never do. And I can't handle it, so I just always have a toothpick on hand.
And that's I won't go there.
I have a chance.
All right. 5 players. Looks like someone raised the 10 or it was straddled. It's about a $50 pot. 10 deuce 9, 2 spades.
9 in seat 1 is the only thing that caught right here.
Dan checks the king 9. Cicero Kid mocks immediately. And Scott's going to bet out here in position.
Ace high.
With ace high. Position bet.
Sure? You promise?
Let's see what Dan does here with second pair. Pretty good kicker.
You know, you're lying on national.
Scott hasn't really shown down anything bad yet.
Universal broadcast.
And I was figuring that Dan was going to mock. It's probably not worth it to take that one out of position.
I think if he had let out betting there, he might have taken that pot down.
He was in early position then, so.
For liar?
For liar.
It'll be red.
Well, Scarlet is apparently red.
Shade red, yeah. But thanks for letting me know.
Live straddle out of Henry in seat 3.
I like to be a little redundant.
Oh, okay. Doubly redundant?
5-5 blinds in this game, so it's a forced
As redundant
second big blind at $10. $10 to call, and Henry in seat 3 will have the option when it comes back around to him.
What we haven't seen a lot of yet tonight is a play that a lot of straddlers like to make is actually making a big raise when it comes back to them.
Right, especially if you got a lot of limpers in there.
Exactly, but it's really kind of the point of a straddle, but we haven't seen that happen at all tonight.
Henry's got a king 4 of diamonds in the straddle position. He's going to check. We have 4-way action here.
One of the times, just statistically, it has to hit, right?
3-3-5.
What is it?
And Raphael, thinking his deuces are good, he's going to bet. He's going to bet 25
And he's actually right.
into about a $40 pot.
He may get Kobe to call with a gut shot.
So you should go all in queen 8.
And Kobe is going to call in position.
Should I go all in queen 7?
Well, you're the average.
$90 pot, 25 to call.
Andrew is actually announcing his hand right now and asking if he should go all in with queen 7.
Turn is a 4, and now this gives Raphael a draw, but Kobe the best hand now as he picks up second pair with ace 4. And the deuces are going to continue to bet here. He's going to bet 50, and he's going to get called.
I'm surprised.
As Kobe also has a gut shot straight draw to the 2. So now the pot is $140, and the river's a king, a high blank. And it gets checked down, and Kobe's going to take this down with ace 4 out of seat 8. We don't usually talk about high blanks a lot and hold them. It's more of a pot limit Omaha high-low type thing. But in that case, the king was a blank.
It would have been nice to see a deuce, actually, to see the action that happened there when Raphael picked up his full house and seat 8 picked up his straights. Let's straddle again.
Yeah, because it would have been difficult for seat 8 to realize that he picked a full house out. Yep.
It took Kenny about 10 minutes to get back to the game, actually.
Rooting for me.
Absolutely.
2 hands all in, he said, in the tournament.
I don't think I won a pot. I may have won one pot. I won one.
Remember
That's right.
King 2.
Top that.
Shot
Ace,
one.
Ace King versus King 2.
King 2.
All right.
And 2-3 at a full house.
105 again. This is my
I hear
lucky.
all the people on the internet clapping
Yeah,
right now.
I know. They're all clapping.
Someone's moving all in. And it's Andrew.
It's Andrew.
He's got 6-9 of
Yes,
hearts.
who?
He's got 6-9 of hearts. No one really has anything to call him with. I think Russ McGinley was saying that I should call. Is it on 2+2? Of course. Go to 2plus2.com. Follow the live thread on the show.
4 or 5 diamonds.
He says, "Come on, Bart, call him Squeak."
Show us.
If I've seen Basketball,
Totally dominated.
Basketball is the movie from the guys that made South Park. I would know.
I won
But
cards.
someone on the table looks like Squeak. I think he's referring to seat 2. Cicero Kid. I have not seen Basketball, so.
Yeah, neither have I, so I'm lost.
Everyone knows out there that I'm quick to pick up and put out the 80s sitcom references and the Big Lebowski references. But I wasn't familiar with Basketball.
The Big Lebowski, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe we can start a fan club.
Speaking of Cicero Kid, does he really look like a kid to you? I mean, to me, he looks maybe slightly older than a kid.
The other time I was in a pot with you, it's 3 beaters.
Maybe they were referencing like the westerns, like Billy the Kid. You know, maybe he's like that.
Raphael's got the candy cigarette back in his mouth on seat 4.
Poker players. We got some
30 for your
moderately good hands here.
He's going to raise. He's raised out of the blind position with ace-jack offsuit. Usually not the best play to make with not a great hand out of position.
It's good.
And he is not succeeding in driving anyone out. Scott's going to call with an ace-9. Kobe's in there with pocket 4s.
Of course.
And I don't mind the call there from Andrew with 8-10 spades in position. And everyone's in there. So we're looking at about a $130 pot. And the flop is 9, 10, 6.
I have a feeling Andrew's all in here.
Andrew's got top pair. And Scott's going to push forward with second pair with an ace.
And Andrew's looking at him thinking, what the heck are you doing? That was my play.
Well, he's got top pair with a gut shot. You got to figure that the way that he's been playing, he's going to call.
Oh, yeah.
He only has 85 left in front of him.
He just didn't want someone to do it before him.
Yep, he's gonna make the play here.
Okay. My internet fan club.
He needs a fan club, he said.
Yeah, he has exactly that amount. And look at this, Henry. He's going to call with the open-ended straight draw. Wow, we got a bunch of gamblers here. And Henry has more money behind him, and Scott, I believe, has more money behind him.
Very interesting.
So we're looking at about a $450 pot here to the turn. No one's on a club draw. The turn is an ace of clubs, and Scott's picked up 2 pairs now. He takes the lead, and it goes check, check. Queen Jack's going to get a free card, but he doesn't get there. Scott's going to take it down, and now Scott bets. So Scott, maybe he was scared of the clubs, but he gave Henry a free card to make it straight, and Scott's going to take down about a $450 pot there.
Wow.
Face 9. Wow.
Oh, that's right. Someone did have pocket 4s, and they would have made it on the river.
Well, I see it time and time and again where people will get scared when a flush card comes on the turn and it gets checked to them. And then they check, thinking they're going to get check raised. And then, you know, with 2 pairs like that, that's a very, very strong hand. Even if you're behind, you have outs. And then he allows a 4th club to come on the river. Or in this case, he allows the guy to complete his straight. That's
Okay, I'm just announcing that I'm not going to go
very, very dangerous check on 4th Street in position.
any incremental amount except for all in. So, yeah.
Andrew, I think, is buying back in for...
Yeah, I'll give you 2 for now because I'm not playing.
I think he's
Not yet, I folded.
buying either in for 3 or 500. It's got to be a minimum of 3.
I'm not going to call. I'm just going to go all in.
And he said that he's not going to make any moves except go all in.
What does he have currently? Ace
300.
9
Yep.
suited, not
He's
bad.
going to move in for 300 with ace 9 suited. Raphael's got pocket deuces.
That's on 4
In seat 4.
And he's considering.
I know, I'm just asking.
But he throws it away.
Garland's got queen 5, so there's nothing like putting in $300 to win 10.
I had a pocket pair and I folded.
Really?
Show the rabbit hunt. Show what would happen. Oh, too late. Yeah, all of them.
Can't see the whole board.
Why not?
That one, how much on that?
See if Raphael would have caught his twos.
Your gambling spirit.
50 cents.
See, I even lose 50 cents. So I need to double.
So you'll be in good shape if you double twice.
Actually, I'd like it animal style. It's the protein style, without the bread. Without the bun? Yeah.
Oh, no, that's not
You got ace king in seat 8, king queen in seat 9.
And Scott in seat 7 is going to open with king queen. He's going to make it 30 to go.
So they probably beat you out, too.
Kobe's going to call with ace king. Seat
Just
8.
call, interesting.
And Andrew's got another king queen, and now he's going to move all in again with king queen.
Wow.
And if you're Kobe here, I mean, it is a cash game.
Yeah, I wish
And, you know, some people don't necessarily like to gamble it up a lot, but when I've seen what Andrew's done here, and he's just showed me ace 9, I might call 300 with ace king here. You know, it's not a normal raise coming from a normal player.
Exactly.
And Kobe has him dominated badly.
I have a feeling Kobe might lay this down, seeing that he didn't even raise the original bet.
No, but I think that he might have been setting this play up, though.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, he's going to call.
Nice.
Yep. I think that's what he was looking to try to do. He was going to try to call to get Andrew to put in. And he's a big favorite.
Yeah, 285, right?
And we know that one of the other queens is dead. There's only 2 queens left. Because the other guy had...
kings is dead as well.
Right, but that's inconsequential. 10 deuce 5, turns of 5.
And nothing. Ace
Rivers
king
of 5.
wins.
And ace king's going to take it down with ace high.
And a king.
Oh, and our action Andrew is taken down.
Yep. And I know that we were wondering why he didn't necessarily re-raise there, but to set that play up,
Can't win a pot. I can't win a pot.
he got exactly what he wanted. Andrew looks like he's going back into his wallet, though.
You only live once.
We always encourage that at the bike.
It was empty.
It was empty. He opened it, it was empty, and now he's leaving. Well, that's how life goes sometimes,
Which
right?
is a bummer, though, because we do like to have Andrew at our table. He's fun, if nothing else.
It's over there, yeah.
Didn't look like he was too upset about losing, though, so...
I'm the only one who didn't win a pot off him.
I didn't win a pot off.
Dan is saying he lost a lot to him. I feel for him, because those are those days when Andrew is hitting his cards and he's going all in blind, and people call him with pocket aces and they lose, and that's rough.
Ace, deuce, ace. Of course, we do have a jackpot in this game. Dan had limped in with ace 10, so he's got trip aces. And it looks like he gets checked around here.
Hi, Dan has 4 aces.
Turns with another ace, and now people will be very excited about jackpot possibilities. If somebody had a pocket pair above 10s here, it would be a jackpot. Because Dan plays. The board, Dan plays his kicker right now.
God, that would be nice to see that.
Yeah, so Dan's got 4 aces right now. He's going to throw a $10 bet in. And Kobe's going to call with pocket 6s. And that's a great board for a jackpot. If Kobe had pocket 10s, there would be a jackpot. Dan's kicker plays.
50, sir.
Wow, Dan's going to bet 50 here.
I think he has a feeling that...
Kobe's going to make the call, and Dan's abstracted. Nice little bet there on the river.
They'll realize there is no jackpot, unfortunately.
Tens, jacks, queens.
Jacks, queens, kings.
Yeah, I know, but Hargrim have
You want a ping pong?
He has jacks.
What else am I going to do? I got to bet a little bit.
Yeah.
They're razzing Dan for actually betting on the river
It was a commerce for
with 4 aces.
Commerce, that was it.
If it was a commerce, he would have moved all in on me.
That's right, because he would have lost.
With 6s, yeah.
Aces, 10s here.
Probably.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Commerce, you just hit the big end. She just made $8 grand in Commerce.
Unfortunately, Commerce's jackpot is not as large as ours.
Commerce jackpot. Who did? He did, but we did right now. Doesn't play here.
Well, that other card club in town, actually, that's a modified jackpot. It's a small jackpot.
It's more than that. It's 200.
Got a new player coming into seat 9. His name is Michael, taking Andrew's spot. He's got big shoes to fill. 893.
Henry's in the lead with top of the hair.
Henry catches a king on the turn, and he's going to bet with king 10.
You can't play in here.
They can't smoke in here.
I see, you can smoke. Love that shit.
Got another one, huh? No notch on the gold column.
And he takes down the pot.
Looks like Henry has lost his stack here. When did that happen?
Well,
He's okay, I'll put it out on my tongue.
he had 275 at 9 o'clock. And he had 320 at 8 o'clock, so he's down a couple
Now
$100.
he's down to about 100.
It looks good, huh?
Looks like he doesn't know how to light it.
Yeah, it's about 100.
Lights up as you pull on it.
And our 2+ tour, it's in the lead.
Yeah, Garland.
Slowly but surely.
And he hasn't even needed to play, really. He just took advantage of some ridiculous calls and situations that he could maximize his profit on.
This will be the last 40 minutes. So this goes until 10, but the game will continue. We have a live straddle.
Raphael's just working on that cigarette over there. Word is it's the candy cigarette. He fills it with what's that powdered stuff called? With it's like a kind of a, was it sticks and dips or that sweet powder when you get the candy stick and you dip it in?
30.
Can't remember the name. No, can't help me. No. Someone out there will know. But he fills it with that little powdery sugar, and then he sucks on it all night. Well, ace king against 6-7. Cicero Kid called a substantial raid here of 6-7.
He picks up a gut shot.
And it goes check, check. Turn is a deuce. And he gives up.
The rabbit hunt shows another jack.
Thanks, sir.
I can't see him leave a 10-6 up. The only hand I've had in the last 2 hours was squats.
What? Blinds, please. Small blind, big blind. We have a live straddle.
Straddle coming in, seat 3, Henry.
Now this is prime for a short stack to go all in after it gets around back to him.
Raise it.
Absolutely. But Garland's going to raise, so you better hold something pretty good if he's going to raise. And he's making it 35 to go with ace-queen suited. Wow, Michael on the button. He's filling Andrew's shoes. He's got deuce 4 clubs. He's going to call Garland's raise.
Michael is an action player. I played with him before at his table. He does quite well.
And here comes Cicero Kid with a 9-jack offsuit.
25.
And Henry has got deuce 8 offsuit in his hand. And he's thinking, should I call the extra? Oh, look at this. He's going to play.
Wow.
So we get 35 times 4, about $115 pot minus the collection. Ace, king, 3. Pretty good flop for Garland. Deuce 4's picked up a flush draw, though.
No, you can't do that.
And a gut shot straight draw. The button, it's got a monster draw.
Only at this casino it's a roll.
Garland's going to move here.
150 is the bet.
He's going to bet about the size of the pot. What is Michael going to do in seat 9? The action's on him. He's got a pretty big draw. He's going to move all in here, Nicole.
Do it again, we'll let you know.
He is an action player. This is going to scare Garland.
Well, we're going to have to see how
Not
much
used
more
to
it
this.
is. Going to have to see how much more it is.
Another 100 more. Garland calls.
He instantly calls because now the pot, it's about a $600 pot, and he only had $150 to call for a $450 pot. So the pot's now $600. Garland's going to have to dodge some clubs here or 5.
Make him red.
Gut shot straight draw with the flush draw versus ace queen. There's a 4. That's going to give Michael some additional outs now. And the turn and the river is a 3, and he
no
doesn't
help.
get there, and Ace Queen is gonna
Pick it
take
up.
that one down.
That's a big hand.
And I was gonna say it's interesting right there, Nicole. You've got the flush draw, which is 9 outs for clubs, and then a gut shot straight draw, which is another 4 outs. You're looking at 13 outs twice.
Plus the turn, you got to pick up a 4 a pair.
Right, but with 2 cards, it's almost 50-50 there. We're not taking 3 draws into
I mean,
account.
if I was Garland and he turned his hand over before I saw the turn of the river, I would be worried. Even when I'm in the head at that point.
No, well, you have to call though because of the pot odds.
Oh, exactly. I mean,
it's,
even after I call, I'd still be worried.
Right.
I hate to see those draws make it.
He was getting about Garland was getting about 3 to 1 on his money. You know, we talk about the fundamental theory of poker. If you could see someone else's cards up, what would you do? In that case, it's an easy
He'd
call
still
for
call,
Garland. Yeah, easy call.
And sweat it out.
9 deuce king.
Check around.
Deuce.
Henry's down the lead with the jack.
He's going to bet and he's going to take it down. But you're right, that turn brought, you know, Michael an additional 5 outs to win there. He could have caught 2 pairs or trips. So, you know, at that point, he's got 18 outs with 1 card left. So, you know, he's still got about a 40% chance to win there. So, his hand kept getting better and better, but he did not get there. Garland wins again. And he's probably up to somewhere around 1,500 now.
The rule change about getting up and walking away?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
I'm going to walk.
See you in 10 minutes. 3 players.
3-way action here. Kobe brought it in for $15. With King 10, he's flopped top pair.
I feel like we've seen this flop so many times.
9, 10 deuce, 2 spades. Is Michael going to get away from this? He's got Jack 9.
80.
And he's going to
Michael's
raise it
gonna
with
raise
second
it.
pair.
Now, if Colby was paying attention to Michael's last play, he'd
You might think he's on some sort of draw or something.
Exactly. It'd be a pretty easy call here.
Well, he's bet 30. Michael's made it 80, so it's a $50 raise.
All in.
Hey, look at this. He's going to go over the top all in here.
Nice job. He was paying attention. He's not going to give Michael any chance to catch up.
Well, Michael he's got about 200 in front of him. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good move when Michael only has 200 in front of him now. If this was a bigger game and Michael had 2,000 in front of him, you got to figure something else out, what your strategy's going to be.
Wow, and
Michael's
he's going
gonna
to
call. Kobe is in the lead here.
Kobe didn't like that call, I can guarantee, but he's going to like it when they see the cards.
Well, the turn's a 6. That's going to give Michael a club draw.
Oh, he got
And
there.
the river's a 4 of clubs, and Michael made the backdoor club draw, which he had with Jack 9, and he takes it down. Unbelievable.
Wow. Yeah, that one hurts. That definitely hurts. Kobe made the right play there, and he just got burned.
Michael had, I don't know if he counted that as 1 out the backdoor flush draw, but picked it up on the turn and got there on the river.
Or trips. Pair of trips drop.
Lots of suck outs in this game. As Garland has got up and left the table here for a little bit. We'll get a shot at his chips whenever we can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and change. He's up almost $1,000. 6, Jack 9, rainbow flop. Kobe has flopped top 2 pairs here in seat 8. And he checked it. And Cicero Kid bet. Raphael called in between with top pair, and now Kobe's check raised. And Raphael wisely mucks top pair with a weak kicker, and Kobe takes it down.
Thank you very much, sir.
Twice.
$60. 60. Call. 70. All in.
Cicero Kid, he's going to move all in. He's got queens.
He's only been 6 hands.
Yes, sir.
And actually, I think Henry might have moved all in and queens called. But regardless, we've got an ace-queen against queen situation here for about a $140 pot. 4 Jack 3 rainbow. Turn is a 4. And the river's a 7. And Henry is down to the felt. Thanks, guys, for telling me. Flash Funk on 2+2 says it's Fun Dip. It's Fun Dip that's in Raphael's cigarette. But then Whalecock says, no, it's meth. Thanks, guys.
200 behind, 7.
As Raphael yawns there, so.
$75.
So Raphael's loaded his candy cigarette up there with some Fun Dip. You know, the edible stick, you eat the stick at the end?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I remember those days. I just didn't remember that it was called Fun Dip.
Queens again for Cicero.
Still has his cards.
Wow, 2 hands in a row.
And he showed him before Dan folded. Dan's got an ace 10 of hearts. That's funny.
Thank you very much, sir.
Shenanigans and all on the table.
I was worried in mid-flight there for a second. 20.
Pocket 6s with Kobe and seat 8.
And he's up against Cicero Kid with 5-7 of hearts, or Squeak.
And he's checking blind to Cicero Kid. Checking around.
Deuce of clubs on the turn. Kobe checks, Cicero Kid bets, and Kobe quickly calls with his 6s.
Interesting.
And he still has the best hand. The river's a deuce. Let's see what happens here.
30.
Well, if Kobe called the turn, you'd probably think he's going to call the river, and he is. And Squeak doesn't take this. He's going to have to muck his hand.
He is not.
Got
Okay.
7 high.
6s and deuces. Thank you, sir. Lines, please.
Yeah.
It never stops.
No, but it comes off.
I mean, it doesn't ever stop the reading.
Nope. Copper.
Ken's picked up an ace-jack offsuit in seat 6. He's going to limp in.
Pocket 3s with Cicero in seat 2.
He limped in under the gun. And we're going to see a limped pot 6 ways. About a $30 pot.
Wow, and he
Wow,
picks up
set
the
of 3s, and Ken in seat 6 has got the ace-jack. So
It's going to be trouble for Kenny.
That's 30.
look at this Cicero Kid. He's going to throw out the bet right on the set. Throws a bet out on the set.
2 players.
He's going to bet 30, so now the pot's about 80. The turn is an 8 of diamonds.
I think Cicero Kid has...
And look at this, Cicero Kid bets, and Ken goes all in, and Cicero Kid quickly calls the river's a deuce of clubs. And Ken's going to lose his stack on down to felt.
Kenny's not happy about that.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Cicero Kid actually has 2 toothpicks in his mouth currently. He's a notch ahead of the rest of us.
So a set of 3s against top pair with an
It's
ace.
raised to 30, and it's 400 behind, 6.
My fault. I should have raised pretty far.
I think that Cicero probably would have called you still, Kenny. We've got ace-queen suited in seat 6.
Yep, Ken's picked up
Kenny
another nice
again.
hand. He's against Cicero Kid. Cicero Kid's got an ace-8 rag.
Oh,
And look at this,
he picks up 2
ace-8-10.
pairs. Oh, Kenny, I
my.
feel for you. If you can get away from this, I'm proud of you.
All right, so we got a $60 bet by Ken, and now Cicero Kid's going to check raise to 260 with ace 8.
Time. You got it. Chips? Okay, he would like to wait for his chips to continue the hand.
And I believe that was
All
the
in.
order of action.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't quite tell if Ken bet on the flop and was check raised, or if Cicero Kid came out betting. I think Cicero Kid check raised, because Ken owed 60 pre-flop, I believe. That's what the confusion is.
Put your chips in.
Okay.
Did you not say all in 400?
Kenny bet 60 is what happened, and then Cicero Kid raised him 260.
Oh, no rip? Yeah.
Oh.
And he's going to move all in, and Cicero Kid has him again with 2 pairs. And Ken loses and going to lose unless he gets lucky here. A deuce comes on the
Give
turn.
the queen. Yeah.
And the river's a 4. Ken loses a stack again. So ace queen versus pocket, or ace jack versus pocket threes, and ace queen against ace 8.
That is a bummer when that happens.
He went all in and called. Then he flopped 2 pairs. He went all in and called. Or he went all in.
So that means we have more players. Another 20 minutes for internet.
What it was is consistent, was constantly raising for 5 straight hands in a row, and everybody thought you were on fill. You know? That was his trip.
Publicity.
I know.
That is unbelievable. Cicero Kid
That's 2 tough beats.
going on the hot streak.
So 40 more. Correct. You got to call it player.
So we got new player in seat 6. That's Kevin.
You are.
Deuce King 10, 2 diamonds.
75. 75. No call player.
Michael's going to bet 75 here with 10 jack and take it down. Well, getting back to that hand with Ken. Now, Cicero Kid, he's been kind of a wild, he's played a bit wild.
Small and big blind, please.
He called out of the blind. I think you almost need to let that one go. Do you think that he would have check raised to 260 with just an ace with a weaker kicker? It's tough. In a restricted buying game, I know it's tough.
Oh, actually, you know what? You didn't miss.
Ace 8, 10. Could have had 8, 10. He could have had a set.
Done?
Combination of 2 pairs with an ace, which is the combination that he had.
Right. Losing the first one made it much easier for Kenny to lose the second one, especially against the same guy. It's unfortunate that it happened that way, but tilted a little bit on that second
Wow,
hand.
the new player in seat 6 in the big blind has got pocket kings. And Scott is raised in seat 7 with pocket queens. So, wow. So we got a $30 raise under the gun from Scott. And he's going to come out and he's going to quickly re-raise when it gets back to the blind.
All in.
And look at this. Scott moves all in, and Kevin quickly calls with the kings. And it looks like Scott's good. So we're looking at a $1,000 pot here. Both players got 500 in front of them.
Welcome to
wow,
the table.
9-10 jack. Queen's open-ended straight. A 10 comes on the turn. Again, a $1,000 river card. It's a 7. The kings hold up. Welcome to the table, Kevin. He picks up a giant pot.
105.
Oh, excuse me. It's 105. I couldn't. I could have sworn that Scott had 355. Yeah, he does have him covered. He did pick up $500 there. Okay. There we go. What a string of
these
hands.
last 3 hands, we've seen all ins.
What a string of hands.
What can I do? I don't know. Neither of us could go in.
I waited for 2 hours at the table and got no such action. I got absolutely nothing.
Interesting
Small
stuff.
blind. You are not small blind. You're the small blind, sir.
And Garland is back in the game.
Henry has left us in seat 3.
And Dan says to Garland, this is more normal action for 3 to 5. Although, when I first started playing this game, and actually I don't play a lot live here because I play a lot on the internet now, it was a really tight game. So you played it recently and you're saying it's more of an action game now?
You know what I like about it is that I think it's a comfortable game for me, in that there's a lot of action, but there's also a lot of good play.
Cicero Kid, he's in there with 3-10 against Raphael 8-9. Cicero Kid, he had raised. And that's not Raphael, that's actually Henry that's moved over to seat 4, I believe.
And Raphael has left us.
But now Cicero Kid, he's going to bet as he checked the flop. It went check on the flop. The turn was a 9, and that gives Raphael a pair.
That's Henry, actually.
Henry, but Cicero Kid has got, he's got the 10, and he does not get a call from Henry. And he takes it down.
You want to take your button? Thank you. Larry, you want your button?
Everybody's limping in. We haven't seen this in a little while.
Stick players.
5 times 6 is 30. Queen, Jack, 4. 2 diamonds. Dan's got King, Queen.
He has not done
So he's got top pair and a flush draw.
Yeah, I'll check my flush draw. Go ahead.
And he announces that he actually is checking his flush draw.
Well, I'm sure that he was trying to check raise there. Jack comes on the turn. Oh, look at this. Cicero Kid's picked up trip jacks. And now Dan bets 20. And let's see what Cicero Kid does.
He's just
Oh, I can't believe he's just calling there. That is unbelievable. And the river's a diamond. And Dan makes the flush. And Dan checks it. Wow. He checks the flush on the river. Maybe he thought that.
Made about 30 bucks. That's about it.
That is. I don't understand why someone with trip jacks wouldn't raise on the turn, and I don't understand why Dan didn't bet the river. Maybe he thought that, seat 2 could have had a bigger flush draw.
I got top pair with the flush draw.
We had 2 seats open. We lost seat 8, Kobe.
You bet it.
So we're limped around here. King 3-10.
2 pairs for Michael.
No, sir, I'll let him know.
And he's check raised here. And Henry quickly calls with bottom pair. Quickly calls. Michael's check raised here. The turn's an 8. Kings and 3s is still in the lead.
All in.
And Michael's moved all in. And Henry folds. Wow.
Now, at that point, Henry only had about $30 left. If he was going to call the bet originally,
yep,
he should have just went all in.
Totally agree with you there.
Correct. They'll believe it. They'll believe it. Peter, the card jumped off of his little ramp there that he built.
On the deal?
Yeah.
You have to
Okay. Exposed card, either done.
Yeah, exposed card.
Excuse me.
Oh, cute.
So raise to 30.
Going to raise to 30 in seat 9 on the blind, on the button, stealing the blinds.
That's it? Yes, sir?
That's it, he
Yes, sir.
asked.
Would
Is
you
that
like
all
the
the
big
money I
ones,
make out of that?
All right, here's 100 for you, okay?
Well, there was a big board out there when I went to look at the table during table talk.
We have a live
Apparently we got a couple of seats open. Oh, new player in seat 3. That's Mark with the backwards cap. Have not seen Mark on the show before. I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, me neither.
Henry's going to straddle. This is definitely not a recommended situation if you're short chipped, Nicole.
Well, it is if he's going to go all in. Now, if
Well,
he's
he
gonna
hasn't
go all
done
in
that.
and take advantage of it, then yes.
I like to
doubt he's going to do it.
You know, I like to straddle, though, when I have a large stack and the stacks are deep. That's normally what the purpose of it is.
Now do it. Go all. Oh, now what was the point then, Henry? There was no point.
Deuce, Jack, Queen, 2 hearts. Michael's got a flush draw.
20.
And Cicero Kid is going to bet on top pair here with the Queen. And look at this, Michael. Boy, he loves to raise and make moves with his draws. He's going to make it 40 to go. And Cicero Kid shows the Queen, and he mucks it face up. He likes to muck face up.
Thank you, sir.
Chewing on 2 toothpicks.
So we can just tell by the way that Michael's played, like, since we've seen him for about 40 minutes, he really likes to overplay the draws. Especially in
and
position.
Call all in with him.
Just ask for it. Forgot all about it, right? 20.
Dan's going to make it 20 to go. He's got Jack 9 suited.
3 players.
Deep Dish Kid calls with the Queen 9 of clubs on the button. And Henry's in there with Deuce 3. King Jack 4.
Oh, Henry. I think he has about $5 left.
And the bet's 30.
Dan's going to bet here on second pair. And seat 2 mucks and seat 4 mucks. Pocket Queens for Mr. Chicago in seat 2.
That's the 3rd time tonight he's gone pocket queens.
And Scott, he's going to make it. He's going to make it 55 with only King 10 offsuit, Nicole. And let's see what seat 2 does here if he's going to punish him with a re-raise. He's going to make it 155 to go. Now King 10 should put this in the muck as quick as Deuce 7 offsuit. Now Henry's all in here. He's calling with Queen Jack.
Henry's in a world of hurt.
And you know what? Scott's all in. Okay, that's why he made that move. Didn't realize that Scott was so short chipped. He had lost all his money there to the fellow to his right.
He needs to catch a king, basically.
Queens against Queen Jacks against King 10. 8, 10, 4, no help, 2 hearts.
Two running hearts will help him.
Well, there's one. King.
And he got 2 10s. He won over
He's
3.
got
He's got 3.
Yeah,
4
he had
10s.
trip 10s on the turn, and the river makes him 4 10s. So he's beaten the queens.
Now the 10s were not what I was expecting to see. The king, looking for the king, and all of a sudden he got 4 10s.
It's not working for you today, huh? It's not working for you today. Small blind, big blind. I'll tip you next time. Not a problem, man. I see what's going down. Nothing.
Is that Henry moving seats again? Over to seat 8. Yeah. Musical chairs.
Chip, seat 8, chip. $60 I get 60.
Queens, seat 3. This time he's got queens.
Pocket
But
fives
Cicero,
with Cicero.
Cicero Kid, he's going to make it 60 with pocket 5s.
He's all in.
And seat 3, that's Mark. He doesn't re-raise with the queens.
I sure will.
But seat 7's going to move all in with King Queen.
Interesting.
So Mark just flat called Cicero Kid's
for you, another $110.
bet. Now,
And
if
Cicero's
Cicero
gonna
Kid
call.
calls, you've got to move all in if you're Mark here with queens. And that's what he does. He moves all in. And Cicero Kid's like, what the hell? I'll call with pocket 5s. Well, actually, he's looking for a count.
150.
So we're looking at close to a $600 to $700 pot. With the only hand that really justifies this is with queens. So King Queen against queens, against pocket 5s.
There's
Wow, King 6-4. That puts Scott in lead, but there's a big side pot between Mark and Cicero Kid. Now Cicero Kid's going to have to hit a 5, and he doesn't get there, so Mark wins a good amount of money.
Okay, so you got the side pot.
But the main pot, which is still very, very big.
Yes, actually, Mark only got up 150 bucks there.
Yeah.
And Scott is on a roll. 2 times all in with the worst hand and coming out the best.
So this is going to be the last hand for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Tune in tomorrow for our $1,000 minimum buy-in, 10-20, no limit, unrestricted game.
300 behind 8.
Of course, you can see cast of usual characters: Mo, Jonas, Gore. And, of course, we webcast every single night from Wednesday through Saturday, 6 to 10 Pacific time. We've seen quite
5 players.
A game tonight, at least in the last 2 hours. You're going to see Family Pot here for the last hand. 5-way action, limped around. 4-8 king, rainbow flop. It looks like it's going to get checked around. The turn is a deuce.
Scott is actually in the lead with a pair of 4s. No, Mark is
Mark
with
has
a pair
got
of 8s.
6-8, yep. And the river is a jack, and it looks like Mark in C3's got the best hand, but wouldn't imagine anyone's going to bet. And no one does. And they check it down. And that's going to do it for us. So thanks a lot for joining us. My name is Bart Hansen. And for Nicole Pepe, good night, everybody, from Live at the Bike.
Good night.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.